All right. Well, we'll see if anybody pops in here. If not, we'll call it a night. I get done work early. Thought I would pop on here and chat with you guys for a little bit. So we'll see if anybody pops in. Live chat. There we go. I'm at my new apartment. Obviously, I've shot a couple videos here already. Metz and I shot a video the day I moved in, and then Amber was here the other day, and we shot 5 videos. So the next 5 weeks are all the stuff that we shot last week, and that was a lot of fun. It was really fucking cool to see her and to share so many memories. And I took a personality test, which was interesting. So you guys will get to know me a little bit better. It's the kind of day it's been. But yeah, I'm gonna be working the next 7 days straight, so I figured I would jump on here tonight in the event that I don't have a chance to talk to anybody, over the holiday or anything like that. So here I am, and yeah, I guess there's one person in here. All right, it's 5 people in here. All right, cool. But yeah, that's it. I just wanted to pop on and say hello and see what was up with everybody, and we'll see if any conversation starts. I actually got a tripod. The other one broke, so I moved this. Let's see, we get the live chat. Okay. So now it's not jerry rigged on a chair. Hey, what's going on, man? Now it's not rigged up on a chair with a film can behind it and all that kind of stuff. We have a proper tripod. I still want it to sit on the floor though. I like the movie poster background a little bit better than the window, which is, like I said, next 5 weeks you're gonna see the same thing. She changed her clothes each time though, so it's like a completely different thing. I was like, nobody cares. Like, you got some awesome posters. Thank you. The American release of The Beyond, Seven Doors of Death, and Dr. Butcher MD here. And then above me is Pieces and Burial Ground. What's up, Newt? I hope you're doing good. Earlier today, a couple of hours and finished watching Battlestar Galactica. Oh, cool. The 80s Battlestar Galactica, or the 70s Battlestar Galactica, or the reboot in the early 2000s, or Battlestar 80, the terrible when they got transported to Earth in 1980 and were like, they were motorcycle cops for some fucking reason. That used to be on, like, they didn't have the rights to the good Battlestar, the original Battlestar Galactica, when I was a kid, but Battlestar 80 used to be on the Sci-Fi Channel way back in the day when we had satellite dishes. So that was actually my first introduction to Battlestar Galactica. And I had a Cylon Mego doll that I got from somebody. I just bought the Blu-ray of Pieces. Pieces is awesome. Pieces is so much fucking fun. It's just pure trash. Done by the same director who did Pod People, if you're a Mystery Science Theater fan. Kendall from Pieces is also in Pod People. It stinks. But yeah, no, I got all kinds of posters. I think one of the streams before I took a walk around and showed you guys. I have to go and get more frames. I'm still without a car right now. I'm still fighting the insurance company. So if I can't walk to it, I haven't been to it, but I've been working every single day. Tomorrow I was supposed to be off. I have to go get a haircut at some point, because on the 4th we get back into shooting the movie, and I have to make my hair look like it did at the end of, the beginning of September when we shot the other scenes, because we have to reshoot this. So I'm like, when the fuck am I gonna have time to do this shit? Not enough time in the day. How's everybody gonna be spending their Thanksgiving for our American viewers in here? The reboot miniseries, now ready to check out the 2000s. Okay, yeah, the miniseries was great, and I really, really liked the show as well. And that kind of came out of nowhere too. It was one of those shows that I didn't have much faith in when it started. I was like, why are we doing this? Like, this is such a bad idea. And it turned out to be fucking kick ass. So I was super wrong. Same thing with Hannibal. I was super wrong about that one as well. I thought that when I heard they're doing a TV show of Hannibal, I was like, why? You can't do like, like, you can't do cannibalism and murder and all that kind of stuff like the way they did it. And, Thomas Harris's books are in the movies on TV. And I was totally wrong. That show was incredible too. So, every so often I'm wrong. Most times I'm wrong. But yeah, I'm sitting on my living room floor. I just got done work a couple minutes ago. The cat's in the litter box in the other room. I can hear her. And so what's everybody doing on Saturday night? Favorite Christmas movie? Favorite Christmas movie? That's a good question. I love Gremlins, Batman Returns, Christmas Vacation, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. I always dread this time of year because it brings up is Die Hard a Christmas movie, and I fucking hate that yearly narrative. I don't know. I'm not a big Christmas fan, so not sure if they're a Babylon 5 fan, but the recent animated series was brilliant. Okay, I didn't even know there was a recent animated series. J. Michael Straczynski. He wrote all my favorite Ghostbusters cartoons as well back in the 80s. The dude was all over everything. But I didn't know that there was a Babylon 5 animated series. That was another show that I really liked. Eyes Wide Shut is an incredible movie. And that's one that I didn't like it when it came out. I don't know what I was expecting. I was in 1999, I think it came out, or 2000 it came out. And I saw it in the theater. I was working there. And like, I don't know what I was expecting from it, but I really didn't like it when it was out. And then I saw it again a couple years ago. I hadn't seen it forever, and I was like, wow, this is great. I'd love to hear what you think about it. Oh yeah, I mean, I'll definitely check it out because I didn't even know it existed. So I'll look it up. I'll add it to my queue. There's so much stuff I need to watch. I've just been so locked into moving and dealing with the car and trying to get the movie finished. So. Has anybody pulled the fire alarm at the theater? No, not this place, but in the past it has happened. Or we had an actual fire one time when I was working at Regal, one of the big multiplexes when I was in corporate, and they didn't do their fire inspection properly, so there was a power outage from the fire. It was in the mall, and I had to go from theater to theater, like getting people up and getting them away from the building. That was wild because you could smell it, but I didn't see it. But that was super scary. But we had people pull the fire alarm. We had people pull the fire alarm at a con I was at. Like the last con that when I was working for a company, they pulled the fire alarm and we all had to go outside. It was fucking freezing. What am I doing here? I don't like video games or anime, and now I'm standing outside in the winter. Like this sucks. But no, I hope that doesn't happen again. That's the last thing I need. But we're a single screen auditorium, so it's building's over 100 years old. So if there was a fire, we'd be able to get everybody out in one in one movement instead of going from office theater to theater. So let's hope that doesn't happen. The fire alarm did go off my first week there because one of the kids burned popcorn, but I did the bypass because I was able to fix it, but then the fire department still showed up. And I was like, come on, man. So he said, Thanksgiving with the family. Have you seen Orca? Oh, yeah, I love Orca. You feel about the remake of Jaws versus Orca? Orca was a victim of circumstance. They killed its baby, Orca's a great movie. Orca's one that people don't really talk about as much, but that's a fun movie. It's just... I personally can never say it's better than Jaws because Jaws is one of those perfect movies. So, as much as I love Orca, it's always going to be a tier underneath Jaws. But that's just me. But Orca's cool. Orca's got a great poster too. I used to have that poster. I think I sold it on eBay. That was like that era of, the Jaws ripoff, but also you were still in the Irwin Allen disaster movie kind of era. So, yeah. This is the conversation I was on Tuesday when Amber was here. I'm like boggling her mind with all these movie references, and she's like, "Oh my God, like you've been doing the same thing for 20 something years." I was like, "My head is full of nonsense, man." But we would just go off on these tangents of about movies and shit like that, and it's amazing that any woman ever wanted me ever, with how much time I've wasted watching movies and learning about movies and shit. Um, and shooting movies. We got 2 more days left. December 4th, I have a big scene that I wrote, I'm acting in and directing. Fallon and I are going to reshoot a chunk that we shot back in August. I just wasn't happy with how it came out. I didn't think the performances were strong enough on both sides, and this is kind of a bridge between the second and third act. So I was like, let's just go back and reshoot it. But it's fucking freezing outside now. So I rewrote it to be all interiors, and I'll match the exteriors with the stuff that we shot that I was able to salvage that didn't have any talking in it. So it's going to be funny. This movie's going to go from, we started in early July and we're going to end it in December. We went from the hottest day of the year when we started production to like now when it's getting freezing rain outside. It was snowing the other day when I was walking to work. But yeah, I just want to be done. I want to be done. I want to be into editing. Because right now I have like a very loose edit. This is the first thing that I've kind of edited by myself. Obviously, I'm going to hand it off to a professional, but just to kind of get the pacing that I wanted, because I write with the pacing. So we'll see how that goes. Then we move right into pre-production on Infestoids. And I turned in the first draft of that script last week, and then I got a bunch of notes. So I went back today when I had some time upstairs to do some rewrites. So I fixed some of the things that people gave me notes for, and I sent that back to the producer. And then, yeah, we'll get that started. And then I think in the spring, we're going out to the Dakotas to shoot a movie with that investor, producer, fucking great dude. He's in Vegas enjoying himself right now as I'm here. He sent me a picture of the strip the other night, like gloating. I was like, so I sent a picture of him of the street that I live on. I was like, it's not quite the same thing. That's all right. Eventually I'm going to get to do cool shit, get a couple movies made, and then I can do some stuff, Until then, I'm going to sit on my floor and talk to you guys. Let me see. Did I miss anybody? If I missed anybody, let me know. Has anyone from Hack the Movies come to the theater? No, I don't. Why would they? I'm 2 hours away from everybody. I was told that Crystal moved to Florida. So yeah, I haven't seen any of those people since Clerks 3 was the last time I saw any of them, and that was because we just so happened to be at the same theater. Had no contact, nothing with any of them. It's even died down that people don't really talk about them anymore. I don't really get brought up with people anymore. I've noticed a lot less people trying to stir the pot and shit like that. So I guess that's good. They're off doing their thing and they get, big views, and we're shadow banned, so we get little views. But I've kind of just pushed it to, the YouTube is just an opportunity to keep in touch with you guys. And when we do have things that's coming up, it's an excuse to use that as a bully pulpit so we can tell people what's going on. Plus, just introducing different friends of mine to you guys, introducing Metz and Melissa and Fallon and Amber and stuff like that. But yeah, it's kind of the only reason that I use it. But I strongly doubt that any of those people are going to drive 2 hours to come up here and shake my monkey tree. So I don't really worry about it. There was at the other theater, the one that was closest to, I used to shoot reviews there when I first restarted the channel. A couple of people connected to them came in, and there was some things said, but that was when things were still kind of like fresh. Maybe when I become a big successful filmmaker, they'll reignite it, and then we have, I'll invite them on to my show because I'm so successful, really give them a boost, He doesn't sit on his floor and have conversations with you guys, Let's see. Make sure I got everybody here. Hi, Newt. Okay, I missed that one. What's up, everyone? Hope you're having a good time. Have you seen Penguin? No, I have not seen Penguin yet. Um, all right. Thank you, Newt, for your kindness in the community. It's no kindness in the community. I look forward to talking to whoever wants to talk to me. Feels more natural, just the camera talking about whatever you want. You don't have to. Yeah, I I'm very very fucking easy to get along with. I don't I don't want to be anything other than just me. That's why I hope you guys like the hey, what's going on, man? I was literally just talking about you at work today to a friend of mine. How's everything? All right, just got done work, just hanging out and wanted to jump on here for a little bit and talk. But yeah, I was talking about you earlier today to a girl who works next door at the coffee shop because apparently she's half Chilean. And I was like, oh my god, a friend of mine's Chilean. He came out, and hung out with us and was in the movie. So you were brought up in conversation today. But that's kind of the thing. It's like most of you guys who I know from the last few years that are regulars, I talk about you guys all the time. Like, I consider you guys my friends and help me get through some really tough times and I, I'm happy that I'm able to still share stuff and that there's still an excuse for you to watch. I know that I've cranked down productivity and I know the views are way down and stuff like that, but it's like I can't do anything about it. I'm not going to do what other people do and buy views and shit like that. But yeah, I don't know. It's just that's what I'm hoping the next few videos you guys like because it's a cool conversation to have with somebody who I used to date. And favorite movie theater snack? Oh, I love Twizzlers. Um, I'm a big Twizzler fan. Uh, I can't eat popcorn anymore because I've been working these places for so long. I did eat some. The only thing I ate today before I got home because I couldn't leave work because we were shorthanded, and for some odd reason, Red One is doing really well, even though it's doing terrible everywhere else. So I had some peanut M&Ms, which I almost never eat chocolate at work, but yeah, I'm a big Twizzler fan. Oh, it was Instagram. Get like a million Instagram messages from people send me memes like you wouldn't believe. I'm like, what are you guys doing all day? Like, do you people have jobs? But yeah, no, I don't have to try to be down to earth because I just, you know, there's a million other people who do a million better things. I like being just a dude who 12 people want to sit on a Saturday night and hang out with. So yeah, that's it. Um, and then I'm gonna get a space set up in here, like a real space to start streaming properly. I picked up a worst movie of 2024. The Crow, hands down, The Crow. It's fucking awful. Alien Romulus didn't do anything new. It wasn't bad, but it just repeated a lot of the same beats. Red One was pretty lame, but it's so harmless that you can't really, be mad about it, except for the fact that it cost $250 million to make, and apparently Oppenheimer cost 100. Hey, Newt, it's evil. Hey, what's going on, man? Um, I think a lot of people are from Discord in here. Yeah, you just rejoined us not too long ago. I've been kind of MIA for a while in the Discord. I've been checking it. It's just been running like a madman trying to get us ready for the holidays. And yeah, I'm not. I hired a girl and then she didn't out, so I had to get rid of her. New theatrical release. Can't anticipate forever the newest Nosferatu. Yes, I am very very excited for Nosferatu. A friend of mine, yeah, the Crow remake was terrible. A friend of mine saw it at the screener, and she was like, "It's really fucking good, and it's really bleak." And I was like, "Awesome! That's exactly what I want." So no, yeah, I'm really looking forward to Nosferatu. And that's kind of the end of the year. Like, there's not really. It's worse than Borderlands. I didn't see Borderlands. I like the cast, but I also don't know anything about the video game, so it really wouldn't have affected me either way. Like I have no allegiance to the source material, so I can't really get mad. If it's a bad movie, it's a bad movie. But I think Eli Roth was super smart to jump off that for the reshoots and jump into Thanksgiving because that was a great movie. and I'm really excited about them doing a sequel and stuff like that. Also, did anybody watch the Cinema Snobs Amityville Turkey Day video? Triple Xmas is in it. He brings up Triple Xmas once, and then he shows part of the trailer. I'm in that movie. I'm an actor in that movie, so it'd be kind of cool if he does a review of it. I want to hear how he responds to me, given that his connection to those people. I still like him, but I want to know how they'll answer that if he does review it. I think that'd be kind of cool because I have the grisliest death in the movie. What did I miss here? Sorry, guys. I get off on a tangent and then I miss. Have you seen the preview for Werewolves? No, not yet, but I saw some of the practical effects. They were posted on Instagram or no, on Twitter. Some of the practical effects for the heads, and I know it's Frank Grillo. And I'm always a huge werewolf fan. Like you can never go wrong with a good werewolf movie, and it's an underserved creature. You've got that. You've got the big budget Wolfman movie coming out. Wolf, not Wolf. It looks awesome. Yeah. I'm definitely down for that. Dog Soldiers is a great fucking movie. The Howling, American Werewolf in London. All those. What's the other one? Not in the Company of Men. There's another werewolf movie. Happy early Turkey Day if I don't see you. Yeah, happy Turkey Day to you as well. I'll be at work, and it used to be my lawyer, the Crow remake. I actually, Bullet's a great one too. City of Angels. We literally just, Amber and I just brought up City of Angels on Tuesday when we were talking about movie soundtracks, and we went from talking about scores to wanted to pop in and say hello. Hey, what's going on, man? How are you? But I really like the Crow 2 soundtrack as well. The first one and the second one are very much a snapshot of that period of the 90s, that kind of music. And that's a good thing about a soundtrack when you're younger. In a day before the internet, it was a Iggy Pop is there. Yeah, Iggy Pop's in it. Thomas Jane is in it. The Crow City of Angels' biggest fallback was the guy who played the Crow. He was the weakest link of that entire movie, where everything worked in the first one because Brandon Lee pulled it all together. And there's some great other performances in that movie, but just stuck between fine and peachy. That's all right. It's better than not fine or peachy, right? But yeah, I'm a big fan of that soundtrack, and it introduced me to like PJ Harvey and the Thrill Kill Cult over those and shit like that. So yeah, I was a huge movie soundtrack guy. I still have the books of CDs that I had. I thought the Brad Pitt, George Clooney movie for Apple was terrible. There wasn't any transformation sequences. All right. That's good. Actually, that was a good movie. Transformers 1, I think it was called. It was actually surprisingly good. I'm not a Transformers fan. I was like, wow, this is fantastic. But it's just another one of those movies like Dungeons and Dragons. It was just let down by terrible marketing. But it was fantastic. You never saw any of the Crow sound sequels. Yeah, the second one is definitely worth checking out. It's very interesting visually. It's got a great soundtrack. It's just that dude with the French accent who was in that movie set in Africa with Kim Basinger. Like he was the weakest part of that movie. And then apparently Harvey Weinstein cut it all up. And there's a whole other version of the movie that exists, and it was the last time Bill Pope directed anything. Who was a very well known cinematographer. Yeah, that's my that's my talk about the Crow 2. Batman Forever, good soundtrack, bad movie. Yes, 100%. Great soundtrack, actually. There's some fucking great songs on there. But I just genuinely don't like that movie. There's a whole other channel where I talk about that movie. But yeah, not. And then I only remember bits and pieces of the Batman and Robin soundtrack. I remember it had like an R. Kelly song on it. It had The End is the Beginning is the End from the Smashing Pumpkins, because then they did the inverse version for Watchmen, because it was that awesome trailer when Watchmen first came out, which always reminds me of that Smashing Pumpkins song. Yeah, there was a lot of really, really good soundtracks back then, and some for some terrible fucking movies. I have soundtracks where I'm like, why do I have this? Uh, I have the like there's Crow City of Angels, and then there was just the movie City of Angels with fucking Nicolas Cage, and I have that for some reason because it had like Tori Amos on it and the Goo Goo Dolls with that song that you still hear on the radio. I don't know. I bought a lot of shit that I didn't need when I was a kid. But that's you got to watch the video I'm putting up because we have a whole not this week, but I mean the next 5 weeks. Please watch them. And then what I told her when we were doing the review is we're gonna answer the comments. So anybody who talks about her, will do like a reading it so she can answer it kind of thing. Because that gives me an excuse to have her come back because I like hanging out with my friends. And I hope more people come to hang out with me until I get my car taken care of because it's really sucked to be, I walk half a block to work, I walk half a block home, and if I have to go to Walmart or something like that, it's like a half a mile that way. So I've just been walking a lot of places, and but when I'm not doing that, I just come home and go to sleep most of the time, or I'm writing a script. It gets lonely, man. It gets very very fucking lonely to not have anybody around, and we're not making anything right now, so I'm excited to get back to shooting, not just to finish the movie, but just to kind of feel like I'm doing something again, other than just every day, open to close, running the theater, doing the bookings, doing the inventory, doing the payroll and all that kind of stuff. Because I am in charge of every single solitary facet of the place. And there's I have two massive school groups coming this week, and then we have Thanksgiving, and we have Moana 2, and then I have to plan the holiday party still. That's the township. We do a free movie. The movie that the owner wants me to show, I don't think is a very good idea because it has a very questionable scene in it. So I don't know how that'll go over in 2024, but I'm just excited to get 2024 over and start 2025, man. Because if I play my cards right, it could be a very, life-changing year on a lot of fronts. And I think that that's something that I've been working towards for a long time. And let's hope that it happens. Because then I can travel with this fucking movie while we're making other movies, and it's no longer just a pipe dream and like, saying I'm going to do something and then having it stall and then having it start up again. Actually, tonight in Brooklyn, a movie that I co-wrote and was a producer on had its premiere. Blood Bitch Baby. They changed the name to Wicked Witch, and that's a Donald Farmer movie that I shot a segment for with Fallon and Madeline, who I worked with, and we shot this very giallo kind of looking, Jess Franco inspired sequence. It's a nightmare sequence. It's a big chunk of the movie. But that premiered tonight in Brooklyn, and Jessa Flux, who's the star of it, she was there doing like a Q&A and stuff like that. So I'm excited to hear how the movie went over with people. But it's cool to know that stuff I made is finally out there, and it's hitting Wild Eye releasing early 2025. So that'll be another movie I pick up and add to my collection of movies that I worked on that actually came out. There's like 9 of them now that are on the market. You could buy them on Amazon, or you could watch them free on Tubi, and that's pretty cool. Like that's not something that I would have been able to do in the past. It's now that I'm kind of, I have to take responsibility for myself. I can no longer worry about the people I used to work with and stuff and waiting to do things. It's just like, all right, if you want to do it, you got to figure it out and just go. And that's what I've been doing. It's just like spending a lot of my own money, but just keeping things moving so that we constantly have shit to show that we're a part of, and that's it's cool. They can't take that away from me. Let's see, is anybody talking in here and I'm missing it? Let's see, bottle of wine, red or white? It is white. Oh wow, I'm missing a lot of things in here. Hold on. Let me see. I missed a lot of stuff, guys. Sorry. All right, good soundtrack, bad movie. Space Jam is a great soundtrack. Yep. Triple X has a great soundtrack. Favorite soundtrack for Junkie Movie. I don't know. I'll think about that. U2's Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me. Let's see, Batman and Robin, Batman Forever. At least Batman and Robin had people. Yeah, I mean, that was the thing They should have just gone full tilt boogie into that one and just made a straight up 60s Batman movie, you know? Um, I'm now into aerobics. The mayor wants to show Revenge of the Nerds. No. 2025, 2026, Popeye. Ah, dude, I have a Popeye idea, but somebody beat me to it. Like that's the thing, and it's a bottle of white. Amber brought me this the other day. Her ex-husband now, or I guess soon to be her ex-husband, uh, he was a big wine connoisseur, and they traveled all over the world with wineries and stuff like that. So she brought me one, and I needed a drink after work, so here we are. Uh, Let me see. I don't know why this isn't popping up. You can have more than one Popeye movie. Yeah, you can, but I don't know. I'm worried about if I continue to kind of try making those, you know, stop the plagiarism with I'm not I you know, I think that people, you know, there's too many of them. There's two already. I missed the boat. If it was something that I wanted to do, I should have finished the script 6, 8 months ago when I had the idea. Because when all the Mickey Mouse stuff was coming out, I was like, oh, I looked up who the why didn't you tell me the substance was so dirty? Oh yeah, it was great, wasn't it? It was fucking fantastic. But no, I looked at the you know, what was coming into the public domain, and Popeye was coming up. I was like, oh, you know what? Nobody's done that yet. So I had the very first thing that popped into my head was the Shadow over Innsmouth, which is a Lovecraft story about this guy who goes to this town, and all the people are like fish human descendants. So I was like, oh, what if we did that for Popeye? You know. Um, Last movie I saw was The Seed. Have you seen it? No, but I've heard of it. I have not seen it yet. But I had this idea of this kind of freak show reject fish man thing. Um, oh yeah, man. They both looked fantastic, and they spend a lot of the money moving naked. And I was like, great. I'm here for this, you know. Um, but yeah, no Popeye thing. I should have engaged months ago, but I didn't. And I think I'll just let this one go, or maybe one if it's popular, maybe I'll try to do it as a comic book or something like that. But I wrote about 60 pages, and there's some fun stuff in there, some really fucked up stuff. But here's an idea: Newt versus Winnie the Pooh versus Steamboat Willie versus Popeye. Well, that's kind of what they're doing with that Pooh verse thing. Like they have Pinocchio and all that. It's all coming together. Yeah, she looks great, and she's like super fucking naked in that movie too. Um, Remember that Popeye idea of yours? I was really hoping that you'd do something with it. Yeah, me too. I thought it was a cool idea, and it made me jump and like, oh, I want to start writing this. But they do, yes, they do. I was actually surprised by that. You don't get a lot of that in movies anymore. Um, oh man, sad. I hope you won't let your script die. Yeah, there's so many things I start and never finish. Um, there's, yeah, there's, we've got Bush and Revenge of the Nerds. There's just a million things I'll start and then never get back to. There's, maybe I don't see how that's going to end or something. How about a Popeye movie set in the future? Actually, I think that's the comic book now that they're doing. Um, Extraordinary League of Free Copyright. Yeah, basically. And yeah, you're gonna have Betty Boop next year, and you're gonna have 2030 is Flash Gordon. It'd be cool to do a Flash Gordon movie, like with space zombies or some shit like that. But I don't know. I was really excited about the Popeye one because I was like, nobody's gonna land on this idea. And Demi Moore for yeah, well, I hope so, but horror adjacent movies usually don't get awards, but it would be nice to see her, at least get nominated for a horror movie and kind of, justify the horror genre a little bit because it's a very good year for horror. It's just it doesn't get awards. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I got enough on my plate right now. I'm trying to figure out what the next script should be. I have a bunch of shit that I wrote in the past that I was thinking about maybe circling back to, and rewriting it, or because Infestoids was a completely different script. Um, uh, let's see, they stole that kick from the Chappelle show. Oh yeah, remember that? um, yeah, Infestos is a completely different script, and the producer told me what they wanted this one to be, and they're like, you have to fit it into this box. So I had to rewrite it to kind of fit it into the logistics that he wanted. But it was cool though. It's fun. It allowed me to play with a post-apocalyptic kind of landscape instead of having it in space. Um, but we'll see. I hope it gets made. We have all the sci-fi sets, and a couple of the actresses who I want have read the script, and they gave me some notes on if they want me to play that character, how some things they would like to see in it. Do you like found footage? Some. I love the Blair Witch Project. I love Cannibal Holocaust. I love The Last Broadcast. Troll Hunter is a fucking great movie too. Um, would you take The Substance, a better version of Newt? Fuck yes. Oh my god, yes. I never got to be like hot Newt. I'd love to be that. Even though I'm a chud, I have dated some very attractive women in the past though, so I used to have that going for me. We'll see if I get if making movies makes me more attractive to women, because so far it hasn't. I thought that like making a movie now would get some people interested in me, and that did not happen. Melissa, yeah, but Melissa's been so fucking busy. I haven't heard from her in a while. She's been, they had to break down everything after the haunt, and then I think she's looking for another job. So, favorite Universal classic monster. My favorite Universal monster is the Wolfman. I love the Wolfman. It has a special meaning to me, but I would also say Bride of Frankenstein is the other one. Bride of Frankenstein is my favorite Universal movie, but the Wolfman is my favorite character. And there's the Wolfman and the Mummy. I have an idea that nobody's done yet, and I already wrote the Mummy script that nobody's done yet, and I scoured to make sure that I didn't take this idea from somewhere, and nobody's ever done it yet. So I hope eventually I can do that one. And I already had a poster made for it. So, have you ever seen the Russian X-Men YouTube video? No, I never have. I've never heard of that. You miss Melissa on camera? Yeah, me too. And she has one more scene of the movie to shoot too, so she better fucking ring me up. She texted me today just to see what's up. Wolfman gets little love, and he's great. Yeah, and I just there's something very cool about the is it in a bikini? She's topless in Amityville in the movie. She's topless. Metz is topless. And we have six pairs of breasts in the movie. I was aiming for 4. I got 6. So that's called production value, kids. You had me at topless. Yeah, it's a really funny scene. It's like a naked witch ritual. And the dude who's in the wheelchair in that scene, I'm explaining it to him, and I'm like, yeah, so your head is gonna get pulled back between her boobs, and he's just like, all right, cool, let's do it. I had such a shit feeling when you that came up with a great idea and already been done multiple times. Or yeah, it's you'll be pausing multiple times on that. I think there's a couple scenes. Metz and I were actually saying that when we were on set, that there was a couple scenes that I was like, what do you think Horn Dog's going to think about this? And Metz was like, oh my God. See, we talk about you too, What Spielberg film do you think is underrated? Oh, 1941. 1941 is super underrated. I really like that movie. I look at that movie as a training ground for what you're going to see with, with Raiders of the Lost Ark and all, kind of like used cars. You can tell all the tropes that Zemeckis is going to use in Back to the Future in used cars. So 1941 is one that I feel like doesn't get enough respect. It was a box office failure, but I think it's fantastic. And everything. I like AI, but when it releases, I'll have the Vaseline and the tissues ready. You might need more than one box. We don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Spielberg's output in the last few years, the BFG and Ready Player One, I just thought were bad. I don't know anybody who's ever seen The War Horse. He did one about a newspaper. What about what Spielberg films do you think are overrated? Schindler's List. No, I don't know. Overrated. Uh, this is why my love. I don't know. What's an overrated? Well, everybody seemed to have liked Ready Player One. I thought it was terrible. I remember back when I was at the other place, they did a before I was on any of the channels, they did a review of that, and they really were hyping it up, and I was, oh, I thought somebody like an Edgar Wright should have directed that, like a younger person should have directed that, and then to do the whole long Shining sequence when you have a better version of that in Doctor Sleep. So yeah, hello Elvira, can I help you? Come here. No, okay, Pew List, super good. The Fableman is the most overrated. Yeah, I the reason that the are you on Blue Sky? I signed up for it, not because I'm a libtard, but just the investor was like, we got to get on as many platforms as possible to sell the movie because we have to justify his putting money into it. So I signed up for one over there. I think I've only posted two things. I don't really, even on Twitter, I don't really read the Discord unless it's like friends of mine. So you'll see that I'll like, Professor Macabro or something like that. But I try to stay out of the other stuff, Blue Sky, yeah, the new Twitter. Is it though? Like, I don't know. I feel it's gonna be like Threads, Saving Private Ryan is overrated. Shakespeare in Love is just, yeah, I mean, Saving Private Ryan, that opening scene is incredible. And worth your price of admission right there. It meanders at times. But again, you go back and I haven't rewatched it in a long time, but I was just like, holy shit, I forgot this actor and this actor were in it. But it's the same thing with like, Apocalypse Now. You're like, oh yeah, Harrison Ford is in this movie. I totally forgot about it. I loved Spielberg when I was a kid. There was something magical about his movies. E.T. was my first word. The first thing I ever said was E.T. And Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, fucking, they're all amazing. How was Megalopolis? I did not see it yet. I really wanted to, but it wasn't playing anywhere near me when it was out, so I didn't get a chance to see it. I'll have to wait until it's on streaming. Now at the theater here, I can hook up my laptop to the projector and stream directly to the screen. And we have a huge screen, and we have the largest speakers, like sound system in the area. So that place rumbles. So I've been watching some. I don't feel like going home, even though I live right next door. I was like, I don't feel like being home and just being by myself. So I was like, I'm just gonna stay and watch something. So I've been streaming movies or just putting on a Blu-ray or a DVD or something like that. And then also I've been bringing some of the clips from my movie and watching them on the big screen to kind of see, this one or this take, or maybe we can fix this in editing. And I've like pretty much filled a notebook so far with notes and stuff like that for the movie because I want it to be good. I know it's a no budget movie and I know it's going to get made fun of no matter what, but I would like to make something good. The opening scene, wow, epic, insane. My grandfather's grandfather lost his cousin on that beach. Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean that scene is insane. It's Jurassic Park. That's another one that I think is just like holy shit. Like that movie still holds up to this day. Are you going to see Gladiator 2? Eventually. I don't have any way of getting anywhere right now. So no, probably not until second run. And I haven't seen Wicked. I saw the Broadway play though. So yeah. I don't know. If we don't have it at the theater right now, I'm pretty much not going to see it until this car situation gets taken care of, which sucks, It really sucks. But Dems to brakes right now. That's the insurance system of America. But no, I haven't heard good things. What's your criteria for reviewing movies? Doesn't matter. No, my theater is not. We have only one screen. We're a single screen auditorium, and I have to keep things for 2 weeks. Yo, what's going on? How are you? Yeah, so I have to keep movies for 2 weeks. So that means I have to make my schedule where if there is a movie that I know is going to do well here, I have to hold a movie that's not going to do so well for another week in order to pick that up. So it's always you're always balancing things out because they offered me Gladiator 2, they offered me Wicked, but if I got them, I would have to pick up Moana on its second week, and that's going to be after Thanksgiving and stuff like that, and I would lose money on that. So I had to keep Red One for another week, and then jump right into Moana, which is going to do gangbusters for me. I have starting tomorrow till next Sunday. I'm working 80 hours, so that'll be fun. And I don't have a criteria for reviewing movies. Kind of whatever I feel like talking about. That was kind of the whole point behind the What the Fuck Wednesday in the first place was, what's a movie I want to talk about? What's something I'm watching for the first time in a while, or it's been on my mind or something like that. That's why I think I did like Showgirls or something. I don't remember what the first movie I did was, but like those early ones were just like whatever I feel like talking about, or a friend who has a particular movie that we liked when we were kids. We talk about that, or bring Mets over and showing Mets something they've never seen before. Yeah, but I've also been doing a lot more of just the non-movie reviews of just talking about movies or talking about life. I'm really excited for you guys to see the stuff that we shot last week. That's going to be the next 5 weeks. I broke it up into five. We broke it up into 5 videos, and I gave it a catchy title. Amber Does Newt. So we'll see. Look better in the substance than striptease. I agree. There's definitely some the seasoning helped. But I remember when striptease was out. I remember that was like a huge fucking thing. She had like 0% body fat and that. But that's after she got her breast implants too, because you look at old Demi Moore, it didn't look like that. Do you know that Demi Moore was underage and she's the butt on the I Spit on Your Grave poster? I saw Jurassic Park when I was young in a small theater, less fortunate people, smaller screen. I don't know the name. Oh, hold on, go back in that. Let's see. There's a name for it for these places. Such a great memory. Well, yeah, they were just second run theaters. So full that there was people sitting in the alley. Wow, okay, that's awesome. Talking about what the fuck. Yeah, they're just second run theaters. I ran one of those in Arizona. The company that I worked for had first run chains too. What the fuck Wednesday? There's still another review in the folder. Oh, is there? Okay, I didn't realize that. I thought I uploaded both of them. I'll check. Yeah, because I have stuff all the way through Christmas right now, but it's a weight off my back when when I have videos in advance, so I don't feel like I have to rush because I don't want to miss a week, but I sometimes don't have anything to talk about, and it gets kind of a bummer to do them by myself, and so to have okay, so second run, yeah, that I saw many movies there and nice memories. Yeah, of course. Are you going to any holiday parties? I think we're throwing I think the owner and his significant other are throwing a holiday party for the staff. I don't have all the logistics on that yet. I'll go, but I'll send you the link again. Yeah, please. And I listened to your things too. I got to get back to you on those. And as far as holiday parties, no, I don't have anything to do. What's your opinion on the new Street Trash movie? Oh, I want to see it. I have not seen it yet. I love the original one. It's in the other room. I have the poster signed by the director of the original one. I really liked Fried Barry too. Are you and Amber back together? No. She, she has a boyfriend, and she's going through a divorce and stuff like that. We just, we pair well together, and I forgot how much fun we have when we're just hanging out and talking and stuff like that. But I think people are gonna watch the video and be like, "Oh, those two are fucking," Because there was a couple times after we finished watching it, we were a little too casual with each other, and I was just like, "Oh, people are totally gonna think we're banging." I was like, "You might have to talk to your boyfriend about that." But no, she's cool. We stayed friends all the years that she was married and stuff. She was a teacher, and like she wanted to be a cool teacher when like the Marvel movies were coming out. I remember I was living down the shore when the first Avengers came out, and she was like texting me like, "What is this character and this character?" So I gave her like all this info so that she could, go and tell the kids, and they thought she was cool. You thought that already? You're gonna see a couple times in these videos where it looks like we were. We smoked a bowl. We had come drinks. Nuke broke up another marriage. No, that was way before me. Yeah, because I didn't know she got divorced. Did you watch Penguin? I did not yet, but I really want to. I'm very excited for it. I just haven't had a chance to. I had to cancel my HBO Max because I was, paying for the movie, so I canceled everything. So I'm gonna get it and watch it. I big fan. Newt smoked a bowl. I did. Yeah, we do the fifth video. I'm a little high. Um, so yeah, so we smoked. We went out to eat. We had some drinks. I had a nice steak. And we shot 5 videos, and it was a lot of fun. It's good to reconnect with people, people who made us better people. And yeah, I miss my old friends. I miss those days when I wasn't jaded and broken inside, and another friend of mine is going through some serious problems right now. I really tried to watch Beetlejuice, but the amount of time devoted to Jeffrey Jones was unnerving. Yeah, I was a little. I thought it was strange that they used him as much as they did. I would have gone with his head getting bitten off, and we don't see his head the entire time. If anything, you just see, I don't know, the claymation version of him could be whatever, but I wouldn't have used like his face for the claymation or on the gravestone and stuff like that. But I mean, for the most part, I liked the movie. I just didn't like the story and the plot. But it was fine. I had intended to see that with Fallon, but she went with her friends and didn't call me. So yeah, but I was saying another friend of mine is going through a serious thing right now, and I tried to get them to come out here this weekend, and I would take care of them, but they're in the hospital, and then I can't get any word because their brother doesn't speak to me. So that's been a little bit unnerving because I don't know what's going on. Kind of interesting that Jeffrey Jones had the funeral, little boy singing. I said the same thing in I think in the I said that too. Um, that guy was a dirty perv. Yes, he was. One of the Burton's recent. I mean, it was far and above better than Tim Burton stuff that I've seen for the last few years. He hasn't really done anything that's made me go, wow, like old Tim Burton. I love old Tim Burton. Um, you know, uh, the Alice in Wonderland movie and Dark Shadows and shit like that. I don't care about those. Um, Big Eyes was interesting, but it didn't feel like a Tim Burton movie, and it didn't feel like there was enough story there to justify it. But I love Christoph Waltz. I like Amy Adams. So for that part, I liked it, but it wasn't a good movie. Do you mean young Tim Burton? Well, yeah, I love Sleepy Hollow as well. Sleepy Hollow is great. It's just had its anniversary. Yeah, I would say everything up to Big Fish was his last like great movie. The ending of Big Fish always destroys me. Hope everything okay with yeah, me too. I'm worried, but I can't do anything. I'm gonna wait until hopefully Monday. I'll hear something. Um, yeah, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was not good. Quick, last week I posted Paperboy 3 and after I thought because of the people that are involved on that short, do you avoid those older projects or you don't mind? I don't care. I, I won't, it's, the Discord's fine and sometimes on some things, but when it comes to some places, I don't share things because, they, it always leads to people talking behind my back, and then it becomes like a thing. But no, I'm proud of all that stuff. Can you reach out to your old friend? No, I attempted to, but a friend of a friend said that that they're okay. So yeah, so we'll find out on Monday. It was creepy. She called me in the middle of the night crying and was not in a good way, and I thought that something bad was going to happen, and then she hung up on me, and then I heard that she was in the hospital. But in my bedroom, I had all of the artwork framed of all my different film projects, and the one that she was on fell off the wall in the middle of the night, like 3 o'clock in the morning. It fell off the wall, and I thought that was really fucking creepy. Because none of the other ones did. And why would that fall off? So that really, are you the Zodiac killer? No, yeah, I wish I was that smart when it came to ciphers and stuff like that. But yeah, no, it was super creepy. And but like I said, a friend of a friend said that I'll hear something on Monday. I attempted to contact the brother, but my number is blocked. So, okay, cool. Because I was feeling bad after that, and I was like, fuck, no, no, no. I'm gonna share the Black Friday trailer on Black Friday. I always do, and that's got the redhead in it. They may try to erase the stuff that we did together and make fun of it all, but I'm proud of all that stuff. Like I wouldn't have done it if I didn't think it was a good idea or something that we can all be proud of. So no, I share that stuff. Are you looking forward to Nosferatu? Yes, I'm very much looking forward to Nosferatu. Yeah, it was a sign from Zool. There is no Dana, only Zool. Yeah, no, I'm very excited for Nosferatu. Great cast, great director. It looks beautiful from what I've seen. Um, do you think of the nostalgia critic and his opinions? I never really been a fan. I've met him a bunch of, I've hung out with him a bunch of times in the past. The day I got fired, I drove him to the airport. But yeah, I don't like the whole disingenuous character thing. What about the car insurance? Is it fixed? No, it's not. Not yet. It's a whole thing. I got the police report. It's off to the insurance company. The insurance company came out and did an appraisal. I'm still waiting on getting the word back from that. The car was a lease. This is the last month of the lease, so that's probably going to be a whole thing. Yeah, if you get if you get possessed, you could perform an exorcism with meth. We could do that. What the fuck? It's been 3 weeks. Oh, it's been longer than that. Black Friday is a great trailer. I'm a big fan of it. I want to warn you, Newt, that Kiwi Farms is planning a spread hate on Blue Sky. I don't know what. Hold on. And have some haters. I know you have some haters on that side. Yeah, but I'm not using it for anything. Like I'm not on there like sharing Kamala Harris memes or some shit like that. I'm using it to promote, and I don't want to be on Twitter, but I need it to keep in touch with people. I don't want to be on Facebook, but I need it to get in touch with people. And if people want to make fun of it, that's fine. Like go on there. There's no fucking like I don't have any like flags of like the different people that I affiliate with and shit like that. I literally just am on there, sharing the same links that I'm sharing on the other ones. Um, and I don't care. Like, it's gotten to that point where if you're still talking about shit that happened 3 years ago in those kind of forums, it's kind of sad. Why would Kiwi Farms be stalking? I'm not sure. I don't know anything about them other than well, there's not the block anymore. You can now see people who blocked you. You can now see their stuff, and I only know that because the redhead popped up in my feed, but I'm still blocked, but I could see it. I was like, oh, son of a bitch, I don't want to look at this. So I've been trying to stay away from Twitter. The only reason I knew what Kiwi Farms was because of Chris Chan, the Chris Chan documentary. But whatever, man. Like I'm so fucking not even low on the totem pole that it shouldn't matter. Yeah. Oh, I've already got those before. The Reddit haters have calmed down. Yeah, somebody sent me something the other day. I popped up in something, but it was saying that the only time that the other show was good was when I was on it, and then once I wasn't on it anymore, the show had started dropping, and I was like, all right, that's cool. They said that about me, you know, whatever. They still made a backhanded comment about like being a plagiarist and stuff. Do you miss Lucky's Burgers? I do. Yeah, there's nothing around here. That's the problem. It's been a lot of DoorDash and stuff like that. You were the best part of that show. Thank you. What is your holy grail of movie posters? I'm all right. How are you, Joe? Um, what is my holy grail of movie posters? I'd probably say my final nudge to watch. Oh, I hope you liked it. I hope you liked Blowout. It's one of my favorite movies. I'd probably say my Creep Show poster because it's signed by so many people is probably my holy grail, or my Deep Red poster because it was like the first like expensive movie poster that I ever bought myself. And then I have ones that like other people gave me. I have ones that the redhead gave me. I have ones that Christy gave me and stuff like that. So I don't know. I kind of dig all of them. And I just have like, again, I think on the last review I showed a bunch of them. My stories and tangents were the best part. To a nosedive, not immediately, but after you left, but gradually since I can't watch it anymore. Yeah, I mean, but hey, good for him, man. Are you still chasing a poster? Um, yeah, there's a couple that I've been looking at. Hey, what's going on, man? How are you? I don't know. There's always like there's some that I was chasing that I finally found. Hey, what's up? Like Son of Dracula, I finally was able to find, and I collect like double and triple feature posters because I always think they're just cool, weird connections of stuff. So I have some of those. I don't know. Amber walked into my apartment and she's looking around. She's like, "You're such a child." Do you want to meet Duncan Jones someday? Yeah, I'd love to. He's a great director. And that was so cool when you posted that thing and like all those like legit directors all were answering my question. And that was funny because that was before all that shit happened. So, Raid Shadow Legend. Yeah, I don't get any of those. I got uh one person bought an ad on the thing. That was way, and I did an ad read for that. But yeah, nobody's beating down my door to give me money. Uh, what is this I see about Nuke being a home wrecker? Not a home wrecker. It's not at all. My friend is getting divorced, but she has a boyfriend. But she came over here to hang out. But people think that when people see the video, they're gonna think that we're sleeping together because of how we are together. But that's how I am with like all of my stuff. What a wave you think would blow people's minds. I mean, uh, uh, I don't know, man. I still watch time to time, depending on it. The story you would tell is always, yeah, and I hate that I can't do those kind of things anymore. Um, it was fun to not plan anything and to I'm a home enjoyer. Exactly. You look the way I feel. Yeah, very much so. I've been working doubles every day, but it was fun to do a review and I used to come in really, really prepared. I used to, watch the movie twice, take all these reviews and stuff. I tweak all the notes and stuff like that. Hey, what's going on, Joe? Um, if I ever run a live stream, you think we are? Oh yeah, I think if people knew that, but I know you and I would be sleeping together though, so it's completely different. But yeah, I used to go in super prepared, and then I was like, well, it's funnier when I just kind of like riff. So I stopped doing. I watched the movie obviously, so I know what I'm talking about. But I just stopped taking notes and would just riff off of what other people would say, and then my brain is constantly just pulling shit from when I was a kid or a teenager in college or something like that. What movies are you planning on seeing soon? I'm gonna watch Moana 2 on Monday night. And then once I get my car back or get a car, then I'll go to the movies and see everything I missed. You were the only person who knew what they were talking about on that. Well, that I know. Um, you once said you tried to talk shit about all these movies. I mean, it's fun to like. At the time, I was far more like they're gonna like you if you're kind of more negative about things. So I was definitely more negative. I will never go back and rewatch any of that stuff. I want to check out the Wicked, but 2.5 hours. Yeah. Um, I think I got hit on at the gym today. All right, very cool. Congratulations. Um, yeah, I didn't know there was a Wicked Part One and a Wicked Part Two, but that's a crazy length for a movie to break it up like that. Uh, and I like I saw the show on Broadway, um, but yeah, I don't know. I like the what's the girl's name? The Wicked website. What's the girl's name? Ariana Grande. It looks like she has good comedic timing from what I saw on like SNL. Rent was pushing 3 hours. I remember seeing Rent with Christy in the theater. Makeup had an idea. Read reviews, but I'm interested. Is Melissa ticklish? Uh, I don't think so. And I think I would know. Everyone has AIDS. AIDS, 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 AIDS. Uh, let's see. If I missed anybody's thing here, just put it back in there. Did John Travolta hit on you? Oh yeah, because he was hitting on all those dudes at the gym. I see you're a man of taste. And the dude who tried to kidnap Metz was also looked like John Travolta. Um, yeah, weird. Maybe it's the same dude. Um, yeah, going way back. Uh, hey, what? Yeah, a dude. I confused Rent with Avenue Q. Well, that was from Team America World Police. Was the AIDS thing? Um, I'm sorry, kidnap Mets. Oh, you never heard about that? When a guy tried to kidnap Mets, and I had to run into the parking lot after this dude. And a guy, she's a child actress and was part of the whole Nickelodeon backlash. Oh, part of that Dan Snyder guy thing. Okay, I didn't know that she was. I don't know like any of these people. No, not the New York Mets. My friend Mets is on the channel a lot. Um, it wasn't me. So, okay, so I'll tell this story real quick. Um, I would. So if I'm missing anything, that Mets thing. Okay, so I'll tell the story. This is like right after Mets like started working for me. Mets I think was 17 at the time. The girl who tried to kidnap Mets also had great taste. Now this was a dude. It was a Tuesday night. It's when Lana was my assistant manager at the time, and I'm running up and down the steps because we got it's stack of DCPs of the movies that had to go back, and I had to keep running back and forth to print out the return addresses. And there was two guys kind of lingering in the lobby, and they were like leaning over the counter talking to Mets. And I looked over. I was like, all right, well, I was like, because it was she identified as she. Then I was like, hey, she's 16, man, walk away. So the dude walked away, and I'm running back and down the steps, and then Lana's standing at the bottom of the steps, like giving me a look like something's up. So apparently this dude was being like super inappropriate to Mets. So I'm like, all right, you're out of here, get out of here, man. And he's like, I want a refund. I was like, nope, I'm throwing you out of here. I have the right to do that. So as we're walking down the ramp towards the front door, he's jawing at me and telling me that, he's gonna kick my ass and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, all right, dude, whatever. So I get him out of there. I lock the front door. We don't think anything of it. Matt's like, thank you, whatever. So the next time, this is like a couple months later, dude comes back, and somebody had gone out the front door, and this guy snuck in, and he was like trying to get Mets to come to his car. And I was like, I threw you out of here before, dude. Get the fuck out of here. So he and I are going back and forth. So he's like saying he's going to do all this stuff. So I walked around the corner into the back parking lot, ready to fight this dude. And then his fucking friend got out of the car. So they were planning probably on taking Mets. This dude got out of the car, and I'm like, oh shit, these guys are going to kill me. And then this girl, Alex, who used to work for me, her stepdad was a bouncer back in like the 90s or whatever. He got out of his car and came over to me. These dudes fucking took off. But like, I probably could have been dead. So, like a week later, I get a knock on the office door. I open the door and I look up. There's this super fucking tall dude. It's Metz's dad thanking me for, helping his child not get sex trafficked by these dudes. But, and then I went next door to the bank, and then across the street to the church, and I got their security footage, and I gave that to the police so they knew what the guy looked like, and their license plates and all that kind of stuff. But it was crazy. That was like, that was fucking almost bad for me. I wouldn't be here right now. Whoa, oh no. That was me knocking that over that time. Oh. All right, let's see. I continue to watch more of the highlighted films on Letterboxd. I still don't use Letterboxd, and I probably should. I try to get your favorite movies on the list. The Empire Strikes Back soon. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Empire Strikes Back, and I have the poster in my kitchen actually. Um, Tell us about your darkest fantasies. Well, you're gonna have to watch the Amber video because we get into some sex talk in that one because she has some questions for me that we she had sex questions for me, and I answered them to the best of my ability, which is kind of funny. Yeah. So you'll learn a lot about me from these 5 videos, um, you know, which is amusing. Any news on Metz's first match? No, do you want to sign Supernatural? I've never seen that show. work in a music venue, got cut into a lot of situations similar to that. Yeah, I can imagine. Finally watched Female Trouble from John Waters. Oh, it's a good one. I love all John Waters stuff. But yeah, any of those type of places, you're gonna have to deal with, hey, what's going on, Joe? How are you? You're gonna have to deal with people who are like that. Over the lines of your viewing comfort, I've seen. Well, which version of Funny Games? I actually think the remake of Funny Games is better. I've seen the Serbian film. I've seen, you know, Martyrs and Cannibal Holocaust and Sallow 120 Days of Sodom and Necromantic and all those types. I've seen them all. You know, The Men Behind the Sun. You know, there was a period of time where I was very much into pushing my limits when it came to extremist film. I'm not into that anymore, but you know, I thought Funny Games was incredible, and that kind of opened the door for, you know, I think The Strangers was an answer to that kind of safer home invasion movie. But I really, really like the remake. That's a and it's Tim Roth and Naomi Watts and Michael Pitt, I think, is the kid in that. But that's a hard movie to watch. It's a very hard movie to watch. Get back into this again. Do you like the Kung Fu Panda trilogy? I don't know if I've ever seen them. I remember we've had every one of them because the first one came out in like '07, '08. I've been a manager of every one of them, but I don't think I've ever actually seen them. Type of cologne do you wear? I just use like Old Navy body spray or Axe body spray whenever I have it. You know, I'm not a cologne guy. I'm told I smell good though. You know, women tell me I smell good, so that's a good thing. Um, so I guess I got that going for me. But then you have people who wear like way too much and stuff. So I suggested Evil Dead in a film club, and the people who run it or got mad at me. That Roman really disliked that tree scene. Well, yeah, but I mean it's just one scene, and just watch Evil Dead 2 then, you know, and uh, you know, the Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 literally changed my life, you know, and I know that's a weird thing to say, but it changed how I look at film. I smell like baby oil and Vaseline. That's just because you escaped P. Diddy's basement, you know. But I think if you're in a film club, you should be looking at Evil Dead because Evil Dead has so many things. You know that look at the video nasties thing. Like Sam Raimi had to go to England and defend himself from, you know, from obscenity charges, but then he also defended people who got arrested for having the movie. So you know, if you look at like censorship, Sam Raimi's huge in that. You know, it definitely inspired, you know, Eli Roth and Greg Nicotero and you know, Edgar Wright and Quentin Tarantino. Like a lot of these guys all took a page from Sam Raimi, and I think Evil Dead is an incredibly important movie. Um, you preferred the first one. I think the hardest movie I watched was Martyrs. Yeah, that's a very hard movie. Um, and the interesting thing about all these is I went into them very pretty much all of them. I know Serbian film I saw completely sight unseen. I knew nothing about it. The Coen brothers, yeah, the Coen brothers were part of that. They were editors on the first one. Did JLo know about the freak offs? I would assume so, right? Like she was part of that whole world. I knew nothing about it. People started sending me memes of like the diddler or whatever, and I was like, I don't understand what this is about. So I went and looked it up and was like, what the fuck is going on? Oh, because I think we were live streaming. I think Metz and I were live streaming, and they said that P Diddy was on the run from the cops, and I was like, why? What is happening? But yeah, Martyrs I saw sight unseen. Audition was another one that I saw sight unseen. Cannibal Holocaust I knew a lot about before I'd seen it. Um, uh, you know, and then the other ones you'd heard stuff about. You know, Necromantic I'd heard a lot about. The Men Behind the Sun I'd heard a lot about before that. But yeah, they're just some of those movies that are very, very hard. But there is not as much. But Richard Grieco was at a Diddy party. I don't know if he would be invited. I don't know if since Diddy's been Diddy, if he would be invited. Oh yeah, I've seen Martyrs. I don't know a lot of the person. Think about that. What do I think that it's it's not a fun movie. You know, it's not something I would throw on for, you know, for fun. I'm glad that I saw it. I'm glad that I saw it in the context that I saw it. Uh, it has something to say, so it's not just shock for the sake of shock, like a Make Them Die Slowly, Cannibal Ferox, or Serbian Film, or the fucking Human Centipede movies. Like shock for the sake of shock does nothing for me. When it says something about us as a people or addresses things, but it uses that, it's like the line in Seven. He's like, you can't go up and tap somebody on the shoulder anymore. You got to hit them in the head with a hammer. And I agree with that. The only time people are gonna take something in and get taken aback by it sometimes is through Extremity. But those aren't the kind of movies that I particularly like. Um, but there was a time and a place where I was watching these to broaden my horizons. Basically, I first gotten into Italian horror movies, and they are more, and that kind of led me down the rabbit hole into Japanese cinema and German cinema and stuff like that. So you hit, as you fall out of the tree, you kind of hit all these different branches on the way down, and you're like, oof, I saw that thing. I don't ever need to see that thing ever again. But yeah, Martyrs is definitely one of the better made ones too. Like that's another big part of it is a good looking terrible movie like that is very interesting. It's like Cannibal Holocaust. Like the score is absolutely beautiful, and it's so contrast to the images that you're seeing on screen. So in that regard, Ruggero Deodato was genius, and he was also turning the mirror on 24-hour news cycles in 1980 and stuff like that, and our desire to see the Christians thrown to the lions, because Gladiator 2 is out. But or why we slow down if there's a car accident and stuff like that. And I don't know. It's in our DNA, that kind of desire to see those things, but it's almost to face it and then you get to walk away from it. Like, it's why we go see horror movies. The horrible things that can happen, because Metz is huge into like gore sites and stuff, and I don't want to see the real stuff. I witnessed a live autopsy once, and it's not something that I want to see. And especially since people in my life have passed away in the last few years, I try, and because I tried to end myself too, it's not something that I want to really, you know, uh, soak in anymore. But when there's like fun, like gore and horror movies, it's fine because it's all, magic tricks and shit like that. But for a lot of stuff, I can't do it anymore. Yeah, I agree. Hold on. Watch Shadow of the Vampire in preparation for Nosferatu. Great fucking movie. Thoughts on Sweet Home? Well, that video game is the whole reason that we have fucking Resident Evil. Who do you have a crush on? I don't have a crush on anybody. Let's see. Can't say a lot. I gotta get some shit done. Well, see you, man. And I gotta go over your thing too. I think I have an editor for you. I don't have a crush on anybody. The kid Michael. Oh, we used to switch the tapes for the two Jack Frost movies just to see what happened. I love 70s horror movies. There's something in that era, man. It's just because there's no compromise. They look like they were made on a different planet. And thoughts on Sweet Home. The movie's cool. I really like the game. I had an import of the game, and I never like got far in it. I love the kill scenes and shit in it. But yeah, I thought that the cover art for the game was really cool. I saw Gladiator 2 recently. I was wondering, how did the ancient Romans get a Shark Tank? I was literally just talking about that to my buddy Brian. Do you ever think you'll get married? Probably not. No, I think that I think that like the person that I thought was the love of my life, turned out not to be. Turned out to be using me. So that's a lot to take in. And then the other person who was the closest to me is passed away. So yeah. Are you going to visit your brother on Thanksgiving? No, I'm not. I'll be at work and I have no way of getting to anybody. And Deathgasm is great. Deathgasm is a lot of fucking fun. But yeah, I don't have a crush on anybody. I don't think I'm ever gonna get married. I want to keep my cat alive as long as possible, and I want to try to keep my friends around me as long as possible because I've learned a lot about myself and about other people in the last few years, and I've learned who are good people who will go to the wall for you, and who you want to build up with. That's why I say reconnecting with people that I haven't seen in a long time has been so important. You know, Jack Frost horror movie actor is going to be at the mall. Wait, what was that? The mall, the cool world, angry snowman. I love that movie. First off, we did the commentary track for Jack Frost 1 and 2. Me with the old show, we did them for MVD. Thoughts on the flick Tourist Trap? Tourist Trap's fun. Tourist Trap is I feel you, Newt. The woman I love moved away. Yeah, it sucks. I will wear a red wig and push-up bra. Okay, that's fine. You can do that. Yeah, Tourist Trap's cool. It's a Charles Band production. It's got a very weird score. It's got very like poppy. And but that opening scene where the dude's trapped and the mannequins are popping out, that's really, really cool. I used to have a 35 millimeter print of that movie. Yeah, they had turned down the gore for the theater release. I love when they're killing the dude with the big black dildo in that movie. That was a fun movie. That was one that was very Peter Jackson, early Peter Jackson inspired. And I caught that on Shudder when it first premiered, and I was like, where was this movie? This is great. Um, but yeah, I like Tourist Trap. I think that's a cool movie. Thoughts on Toys in the Attic? Um, I've seen Flowers in the Attic. I don't think I've ever seen Toys in the Attic. That's what they used to call autistic kids. When I was a kid, they used to say that the kid had toys in the attic, and I never knew what that meant until I was like older, and I was like, oh, they were saying they were autistic. Okay, I get that. Um, but no, I've seen toys. Uh, did you bother to watch Megalopolis? Not yet. It was I just started running this theater when it was out, and it wasn't playing anywhere near me, and I was getting ready to move and stuff like that. So I didn't get a chance to see it. I want to though. I mean, people are saying it's a disaster, but I'm interested. Hey, Newt's live. What's going on? How's it going? All good, man. Just hanging out. Yeah, I got home from work at 7 o'clock. Thought I would pop on here and talk to you sons of bitches and see what everybody's up to. Kind of give people an update of what's going on. I do hope everybody watches the next few videos and that start this week and have nice things to say about her and learn a little bit something about me because I really enjoyed doing them and I want to kind of do some more of that stuff with people. My friend Jeanette, she was on. For anybody who was on the Patreon for the old channel when I was still there, she was the mail girl in the whenever we would do mail segments. She looks a lot like this sister from. I like the weird angle of that poster. Oh yeah, because I have the thing cockeyed, so it's like this, and I was like, oh, all right, it looks like a fisheye lens. But she looks like the sister on Stranger Things, and she was on set, and I guess she's not getting married, so I was like, come out and do a fucking video with me. We'll talk about life and shit like that. Spike Lee is remaking High and Low. Oh, okay, interesting. He remade Ganja and Hess, but he called it The Sweet Blood of Christ, and it was terrible because Ganja and Hess is a really fucking good movie. It has the actor from the original Night of the Living Dead in it, and yeah, I didn't like that movie at all. And I remember, I remember when he made like The Miracle at Saint Anna, I think it was. Yeah, I was talking about his remake of Old Boy the other day. Because really the only thing I remember about that movie is Scarlet Witch is naked in it, and I was like, all right, that was worth it. He made a movie called The Miracle of Saint Anna, and I'm into divorced women too, man. I don't know if they're into me, but it's nice to still have attractive women want to hang out with me. But yeah, I remember that when that movie came out, it was like 2007. A girl I used to date that you guys know who she is. She didn't have her ID, so I had to sneak her into a movie so that we could see that movie. Yeah, so that was fun. But yeah, Old Boy was not good. Yeah, I don't know. Spike Lee, I used to like his stuff, and I really liked the 25th Hour, which came out like after 9/11. That was a solid flick, but I really haven't kept as much a close eye on his stuff. I wanted to see the Ganja and Hess remake, and I was just like, wow, this is bad. Like, why would you remake? Why would you take such a important thank you. Talk to you later. Okay, see you, man. What happened to the hot blonde you used to hook up with at the theater? Which one? There was a couple of them. Hot blonde I used to hook up at the theater. I dated a girl named Krista who was a very attractive blonde. She looked like Kelly Cuoco. Uh, a lot of brunettes, a couple Asian girls, a couple African American girls, Spanish girl. There was a lot of them over the years at the theater that I had fun with, and then I had a I was engaged for a while, and I had and I had a long on again off again girlfriend for but yeah, and I haven't been with any. I haven't dated anyone since 20 2014. Really, yeah, in the theater. Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, you have no fucking idea. Um, there's certain people who will say that oh, Melissa's great. Melissa's fucking awesome, man. Um, there was every theater I ever worked at, with the exception of the one I'm at now. I've marked every place you can imagine. Sometimes on the clock, but no, Melissa's awesome. Melissa's fucking great. And she's one of my best friends. She's been like very distant of late, so I want to yeah, yeah. I need her to come back out because she has to film her last scene too, so we can finish the fucking movie. Um, these are basically triple X theaters now. I mean, I'm sure. Well, one of them's closed now, so but there was definitely newt fluids in various places. Um, you know, and there's a person who says that they never really liked me that way, but they used to drive 2 hours just to have sex in the projection booth and then leave. Um, I need Melissa to come back out too. Yeah, man. They say it only plays Triple X with Vin Diesel or Triple X Two. Wasn't Triple X Two was with um oh fuck was it Ice Cube or Ice T? One of them. First of the week. You went to Outback Steakhouse. Ice Cube. Okay. Did your theaters have cameras in the theater? No. A lot of theaters do now. They're placed in the front so they could just look out at the audience. They have like a night vision thing on them. Because they can't be facing towards the screen. But I know a lot of theaters do have those. 2 hours for 10 inches. Hey man, that happened a lot because when certain employees who I hung out with more recently, when they found out what was going on, they're like, wait a minute, the person who used to drive 2 hours to Xander Cage. Any paranormal activities? Yes, my new theater is super haunted. To a ridiculous degree, to like not like uncomfortable degree, but it's weird. There's a lot of like walking around upstairs when I'm the only one in the building. I saw something at the top of the steps when I first started working there. Things kind of like fall over, and Newt knows. Oh, of course I know where all the spots are. Uh, I've seen that drawing. It's hanging in my apartment. But the theater now I'm at is super haunted. The When and Wayne had a theater that was like that. Matt's told that story before. The theater in Pittman was like that again. The redhead when I was working there is when we met, and I had to walk up the balcony to get into my office, and we're walking up the thing, and her hair got pulled, and I was like, holy shit, like that's fucking crazy. But yeah, I was, and I don't know what I believe when it comes to that stuff, but it's weird. Do you still talk to the 2 hour girl? No, I don't. No, she doesn't talk to me anymore. You know who it is, and that was all the way till 2019. So yeah, um, but yeah, because we got caught once. That was fucking funny. We were Never mind. I'm not gonna tell. Did you hear a howling, otherworldly scream in the building yet? Any strange blood coming from the wall? No, nothing like that. It's just footsteps, things like falling down that shouldn't fall down. I made up. No, I'm not gonna tell it. I can't tell it. Let's see. And my dad used to say, "She knows where to come." Yeah, I mean that's true. Damn, that's fascinating. That scream. You don't really believe in ghosts. Yeah, What's going on, Icy Bird? How are you? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I believe. It's just so we have behind our screen. There's a green room. because it used to be a theater at one point, and that's where people would go and get shit dressed and stuff like that. So with all the events that we have, I've been making up kids packs. So there's like the little kids box. So I would make 50 of them and I put them in these big trash bags and I put them all inside this container where they're all standing straight up. And we came back there and like they had all fallen down, but I don't know how that would happen for how they were put up and with the thing in front of them. So that was super creepy. No ghost of the projector. I'm not afraid of you. Yeah, no, nothing I'm worried about. It was creepy to see a figure at the top of the steps. So that took me aback. But no, I mean, I want to. Hopefully, I can catch something on camera or something eventually. I thought it was funny when I did the reel a couple like last week about the wiki thing. Are you able to go to therapy or have you moved beyond that? No, I want to get back into therapy. Yeah, obviously moving. I didn't have the money for a while too. Like I was saving to make the movie, and then I got very lucky that the investor who came on who watched the live stream, and that was the wildest part. Was just a dude who randomly was watching one of our live streams, and I thought he was fucking with me when he was like, "Well, I'd like to produce a movie." So I looked him up and I called him and we had a really nice conversation. And once we got all the legal stuff taken care of, he sent out money, and he and I talk every day, and he's a really fucking cool guy. And he's the one who sent me the 28 Days Later T-shirt and told me to wear it on a stream because he had to look into the whole, he had to look into the Cinemassacre Truth thing and find out about me and stuff like that. And his lawyers looked into me and all that kind of stuff. So I was vetted. But yeah, I want to get back into therapy though. I do. It's especially with moving and being by myself, like a lot of times now, not very far away from people, it gets lonely, and then I find myself thinking about things that I really shouldn't be thinking about. Going back and looking at social media stuff that I shouldn't be looking at because I know it's just going to drive me back down. But that's why I've been trying to keep myself busy. I've been trying to work every day. I've been trying to write more every day, and we've been making the movie and stuff like that. And we are moving in a positive direction. So I'm trying to just stay focused, and then once I'm situated, get back into therapy. And one of my exes is a licensed therapist as well. She's 8 months pregnant now. But we talk on the phone constantly, and I maybe it's a conflict of interest because we were sleeping together for so long. But she's good at like being a sounding board, and gives great advice, and she's always been super smart. So she's the one who looks like Natalie Portman. She's the one in the Paperboy 2 trailer. She's Paper Girl. She and I were dating at that time when we made that. So yeah, so she's somebody who's been very helpful. But as long as I keep myself kind of my mind occupied, I tend to be okay-ish. The holidays are a bad time. I got my cancer diagnosis at the holidays. I got uh, therapy for what I have like serious clinical depression. I've always had it, and I refused to get help for a really long time. I had some bad things happen to me when I was a kid, and it definitely colored my relationships, how I deal with people, how I overcompensate for things. Why, most of my problems that you guys know me for all came from just my trying to, yeah, too busy, very easy to get burned out. Oh no, I get it, but right now it's like I gotta buy a new car, and I just spent all my money making a movie. What about the abdomen thing? I'm good for now. I had 2 surgeries, and I definitely have the one. Yes, yeah, that's something that happened to me. Um, and it's not just that happened to me. It's also that one of my parents basically said, "Don't talk about it," because they didn't want to get caught that they were cheating, and them cheating on my mom, and it was the roommate of the girl that my dad was sleeping with, and I have a half sister because of that. So it's affected my how I look at myself. It's affected how I am in relationships and stuff like that. But it's again, I and Mets can tell you, on the first week of shooting for the movie, I had like 6 different women there who I've had, intimate relationships with, longer intimate relationships, a couple girlfriends and stuff like that. So I was like, these people are still here. They're still around me. Melissa and I were hooking up for a really long time. If I was that bad as some people try to make me out, these people wouldn't stay in my life. Especially feminists and stuff like that. So, but it affected how I view myself. It affected how much I let people in when it comes to what I'm feeling and all that kind of stuff. And that affected a lot of relationships. I definitely look back and go, had I gotten therapy back in 2003 or anything like that, my life would be very different right now. I think that people who are no longer in my life would probably still be here because I would have been able to open up more. I would have been able to give more of myself and more honesty and not chasing things. You're a good place. You're resilient. You're still here and making the movies you want to do. Yeah, and that's the big thing is. And again, all this popped up because, and again, I think I've told this story before. When I had Bell's palsy, I was given 26 scripts to write. I was told that they sounded too much like me. I plugged things in that I took from someplace else because I was told it was going to be rewritten. The producer did not rewrite them. The host just read them. But as all that stuff was going on, I was also producing the Ryan and Mike show, and Mike would send you 12 hours of game footage and just want 30 seconds. So I'd be combing through all this shit, and then I'm producing the Cinemasker podcast, and I'm doing 2 episodes a week of Hack the Movies, and I'm doing peg warmers, and I'm building a fucking deck for Ryan and stuff like that. So I burned myself out, and we were filming what was supposed to be the opening scene of Shark Exorcist, and it was on Tony's birthday. And I think I've told this story before. I was in the lake the entire time filming, and they wanted to go out because Rihanna now, I believe. But they wanted to go out. There was an opening of an arcade to go to, and I'm all covered in cedar water. So I went to a Target near the camp, and I turned the corner and I locked eyes with a guy, and it was the guy who did it. And I literally, like, my whole body turned cold. And that was kind of the beginning of the end. From that point on, I was just completely broken all the way into the day that the 28 Days Later review came out. So the stream died. That's the one. Can you guys still hear me? If you can still hear me, let me know. It says it's still rolling. But if it stopped, I'll jump out. Let me know if you can hear me, if I'm still going. Never mind, it's back. Okay, cool. All right. I don't know what you missed. But yeah. You're on for me. Yeah, you're back. Okay, cool. All right. I don't know what you missed from the story. You tell me wherever I left off. But it was buffering. Okay, I don't know what I haven't really dealt with that's a really good point. The ability to still be connected in friendships and relationships is something many people can't do. Speaks for you. Ex-partners still hang out. Yeah, I mean, I understand the feeling like it must be you when you're, and that's, I want to, I want to please people, because again, I grew up like, my parents never told me they loved me, and I know you don't need that, but like they never told me they loved me, never told me they were proud of me. It was funny. It was the Amber was the first person to ever say I love you, and I broke down in tears in my car. I think the reason that I do this, I think the reason that I write, that I try to perform, not a good writer, but I try, is because I'm trying to fill something in myself that I can't. I'm trying to bring it in from the outside that somebody else can tell me that I'm good and smart. So I think that's a big part of who I was for a really, really long time. But I try to be a good guy. I try to be there for people, even when I wasn't in a good place. You absolutely need your parents to tell you love you. The issue is not feeling is valid. Yeah, I don't know. And I asked my mom about that. Like when, again, I was hospitalized back in November 2021. I tried to end things the night I left too many games, which was the night that they all knew that they were getting rid of me. And I grew up parents that made me feel disposable. Yeah, that sucks, man. That's the whole thing is like, I asked my mom, I was like, why didn't you ever say that you loved me before? And she's like, well, because you already knew. You already know that. But like, you need to hear some things sometimes. Like, you need, it's like if you're in a relationship, you just randomly tell a girl that she looks pretty. It's like they don't need it's nice to hear that kind of stuff. We were literally just on Tuesday, we were having that conversation. We went out to eat, and I was just always randomly a booster to people when I was in relationships with them. I was always just randomly buying gifts or flowers or something like that. I'm a really good gift giver, apparently. I didn't realize that, but Lana and Amber both said that, because I listen to people. I take in everything that everybody says, and I store it, because you never know when something that came up in conversation can be used against someone. Like I'm Batman with a contingency plan. No, people can throw out something that they like, and if people aren't really paying attention, you might miss it. But you can get someone a gift or something that shows that you actually are listening, and that's the thing I want most of all, is just for people to actually listen to me. Because I'm used to being in situations where I am, singing for my supper basically, and you want people to accept you and like you, so you kind of change who you are for them, and you feel like you're being talked at, not talked to, and that was kind of my time working with the YouTube thing, is I never really felt like I was listened to, and we probably could have avoided a lot of problems. My mother was the mayor of the township I grew up in, and my sister did promotions, the wholesome. Oh, that's interesting. Bob Saget told me never to name drop. Uh, I name drop all the time, but they're part of my. My dad never said I love you either. It wasn't until he passed away. Yeah, and that's the thing that worries me. As I get older, is not having the ability to say, things to people. Right before Christy died, 18 hours after, 13 hours after she and I spoke for the last time. And after our conversation ended, I was still texting her, and I screenshotted those texts because it's the last thing that I have from her. Hey, what's going on, man? But I was glad that before that happened, I was able to say the things that I wanted to say and needed to say and all that stuff. And there's a lot of people who I'm never going to, with me, November last year, my dad was in a rehab facility for most of November, and he came home, and finally my mom was still all the time, was hurt and couldn't work, and it wanted to do therapy. No, it's important, and I know that I'm old. You look so much better now than when the redhead was streaming 3 years ago. The whole thing was a mess, and not because of you. Um, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because I used to pop in on her streams all the time, because she would say fans of that show will come over if I'm there. So I would come over there and try to be involved in the streams and stuff like that. But it was always just wanting the, uh, what's going on? I write the Goosebumps books. What? I write the Goosebumps books. R.L. Stein? But yeah, I don't know. I used to, it was, again, you look back at the, and you realize that, you were being used and stuff like that. So, yeah, whatever. But, the people who did stick around are here, and they're part of the movie, and I've reconnected with a lot of people, but there is a lot of people that I wish I had a chance to, I want you to say hi. I want you to say it. Hold on. Hey, Newt, say hello. I'm R.L. Stein. I write the Goosebumps books. Okay. Hello, I'm R.L. Stein. I write the Goosebumps books. I was too old for Goosebumps. I remember when it was on, because I remember the dog with the light up eyes and shit like that, and I remember the dummy. But I never read any of them. I never saw the show. I saw the movie with Jack Black though. But yeah, no, there's a lot of, just again, like as I was saying earlier in the stream, a friend of mine, who doesn't speak to me anymore, is his sister and I used to date, and she and I still talk every day. And I'll go see her occasionally and stuff like that. She moved and all, but she had a serious issue. She was hospitalized, and I couldn't find out what was going on because I tried to contact that person, and he has me blocked on his phone. So I can't find out what's going on with, my friends who are still connected to that world, and that's scary. That's a scary thing. You know, it's like the Twilight Zone for kids. No, I remember. I know what it was. I just never saw it. I love the scary stories to tell in the dark books when I was a kid. I thought those, just the artwork for those, were really fucking cool. Yeah, but it's fine. I found out that she's gonna be okay, and that was the only thing that worries me is not getting a chance to. Uh, you made that. Thank you for the hard work you put in. It could never sing without you. Yeah, I mean there was a lot there. You were the reason I wanted to do therapy. My therapist told me they were proud of me. That's awesome. Like that's the biggest fucking thing, man. Because it was hard. It was fucking hard uh, to get into that world, and to talk to people openly about things that were inside of me. To talk to people about suicide, 3 suicide attempts, and sexual abuse, and everything that was going on, and then at the same time you're going through all that. You've got Reddit stuff, and you've got Red Letter Media is making fun of me, and they're calling my job and leaving reviews about me that being like that I'm abusive towards women and stuff like that. So that kind of stuff made it even harder. And then you have the whole situation where my old boss and my old best friend wanted to meet to bury the hatchet at and turned out they were just there to revel in the badness that had happened to my life. And that was a big turning point for me, because I honestly thought that like there was a chance to fix things. I thought that I was kind of moving in a good way, and then find out that no, it was always about just like salting the earth. So no, not Red Letter Media was calling my job. Red Letter Media was making fun of me in their Halloween episodes. People who are connected to people I used to work with, and um, uh, uh, but the Reddit people were contacting my job and stuff like that, and trying to get me fired. They were doing it at FYE. I was getting calls there constantly, asking about me and stuff like that. I'm amazed your haters didn't review bomb your movies in the letterbox. Yeah, I thought that was weird too. But you know, I do hope that Brad covers Triple Xmas, because I'd be very excited to do that. My producer's like, can we hire any of those guys that like used to work with, because they won't say no to money. You're very lucky. Yeah. You wanted to just they just wanted to rub it in my face. Um, One of them, because I was wearing a polo for the theater. I was just doing inventory that day, so I didn't wear a suit and tie. And he's like, "Oh, is that your little polo shirt? Are you gonna go make some popcorn?" Did that affect your writing? Um, it did. It did affect it for a while when I started taking Zoloft. Um, it definitely kind of made me a zombie. The haters, especially the Reddit ones, need to get a life. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Uh, then okay, yeah, I'm following you, Caleb. I was like, I figured what you're saying. But again, I don't, at this point, it's ridiculous. I know for a fact I've done more. Like if people grew up and wanted to be filmmakers, I've actually been making movies, for the last 3 years, whether it's fucking good or bad. Yeah, I made Donald Farmer movies. Okay, they're still out there, all those guys, they have studios, they have all the fucking gear. You wouldn't even imagine how much gear we had at that place. They were constantly buying new shit. And I would be like, let's try this on the show and stuff like that. Like the only reason we did those 3D things and the Patreon was because I was like, let's try this. Did you say that some of your haters became good friends of yours? Yeah, Race is a great fucking dude, and he was a Cinemassacre truther. Um, I'm on an antidepressant. It really helps me enjoy things better. Yeah, it was. I don't know, it zapped me. Like I don't know about it. The plagiarism was an honest mistake. Predicted the lapse of judgment. The projects you've been a part of haven't elevated because of you. It goes all ways. Should I have plugged in those segments that they didn't want with someone else's words? No. It would have been much easier to just rewrite it the way that they wanted it. I thought it would be rewritten by the producer of the show or the host of the show, and it wasn't. And I did it in too many of them, because I write things the way that I talk, and I forget that you have to write things the way that that host talks. And that was a mistake on my part, but it was also a mistake on my part not to go back and check. You know, knowing how lazy certain people are, that's my fault. You know, and things would be very different now. But I also don't think that, you know, I don't think I'd be in a position now where I was making my own movie. I don't think I would have made any of the Donald Farmer stuff. I don't think I would have ever gotten to go out to, you know, get to go out and do Triple Xmas and other stuff. But you also proved out there's the there is no QA for their work. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, people are very much not involved. I mean, I don't know how it is now. I'm assuming Sean does all the work now, because Kieran's not there anymore. But yeah, I don't know. I was constantly wanting to do things, thinking like, oh, here you are. You're in a studio. You have all the gear. You have the owner of the company has all this money, and I think people are just happy just doing enough to get by. And you know, I don't want to do that. I don't want to ever get stuck doing them, I mean, unless you like that. If you just want to be the movie review guy, that's fine. But I want to make movies. I want to make comic books. I want to, you know, I want to do all that other stuff because you know, again, when I'm not doing something, my mind drifts into a dark place, and I don't want my mind to drift in a dark place. You know, it sucks to. Oh, Mr. Donald Farmer had a Shark Exorcist. Well, hey, Shark Exorcist 2 fucking played in Japan and was huge in Japan. So something that I was part of got a theatrical run in Japan, you know? And again, the channel that I used to be on, they would have been a huge part of that movie, had we done the segment that I did, you know? And I feel like I have made progress, you know? It wasn't the plagiarism, would have been something else. I know. I think that I honestly think eventually they would have gotten rid of me because I was becoming a little bit more popular, you know? This October, you were doing so much better than the past. No, I agree. We're making a movie, you know? On October 1st, we were making a movie, you know? And that was the day that my whole fucking life fell apart, you know? My whole life, it really ended on the 13th. That was the day that, like, she didn't want to talk to me anymore. And Justin walked me out of the office. Like, you know, I had to pack all my belongings, and they had to walk me out into the parking lot and stuff like that. It was super embarrassing. But you know, I've done a lot, and whether it's good work, whether anybody's ever gonna, you know, it's not gonna shake the pillars of Schlock, you know. You know, I'm not making much money off it or anything like that, but I've been putting my own money into things, and I've kept people, you know, that's your biggest account. Yeah, I mean, you know, and it sucks because again, it was like again that October, like my 40th birthday. You know, that was horrible. You never know. Japan could. Yeah, no, actually, the guy who does the festival out there asked me if they can have. You know, may I ask why Red doesn't talk to you anymore? You seem tight. We were best friends. Uh, she started sleeping with my former best friend, and eventually it was you know, enough people put that I'm a monster in somebody's head, and then I become the monster, and then if you want to stay with the popularity that you have, you need to make decisions. So I'm the bad guy forever after 15 years, and that's just how it is. And that's something that it's hard to accept after you've been with somebody for 15 years. But it's, you know, the other guy was my friend for 25 years, you know. Uh, I have nothing bad about James, you know, or Mike, you know. Mike was always very good to me. Oh, she did that to hurt me. I know that for a fact. And then, you know, but it also affected, you know, his sister, you know. Have you gotten in touch with Bill Rebane yet? No, I haven't, but I love the video that you sent me. That really made my fucking day. Yeah, no, it's weird. It's weird to have people who are so part of your life and they're gone, but they're not dead. They're just not, you know, you're not part of their life anymore. And you know, it gets depressing when I look at like projects that I created for somebody. You know, I do have a painting of her that was the poster for Planet Frankenstein. I have it framed, and you know, it's weird to have that, but it's also like it was an important it was an important part of the process of being inspired by people. She was my muse for 15 years, you know. So it's interesting when I look at scripts now and I have to rewrite things, and it gets depressing, it gets sad, because I'd love, you know, I'd love if I could have done these things with people, but you know, it's horrible. It's not worth being. Yeah, I know. It's yeah. Is James a nice guy? He was always nice to me. You know, after everything had happened, that Christmas, I contacted him, and we had a long talk, and he knows exactly why I did what I did, and you know, and I apologized to him for ruining his channel. You know, I think people had an idea that those guys were doing all the work, um, but and that 540 thing's bullshit too. There's so much that people don't know. Um, about him and you know what he brings to things and what Mike brings to things. Um, you know, I think that his biggest mistake was the people who were handling him. They allowed that shit to go on for so long. If somebody told you, if somebody came to you tomorrow and said, "We'll do all your work for you, and you still get paid," wouldn't you do that? Like Mike is the real one, yeah. But I mean, the two of them together created good stuff. We would go out for like we'd go out to eat, you know, and you just watch the two of them bounce off each other, and it was fantastic. It was fun to see that, you know. I feel your pain, Newt. I still miss my former Facebook friend. Yeah, it sucks, you know. It's 4 years. It doesn't, you know. It's hard to believe that it's been that long. It's hard to believe that I haven't been able to let go of certain things. I think that I have, in a lot of ways, accepted the bad that they did, because for the longest time, yeah, you can't duplicate the spirit of a one man band. Exactly, and you know, and his handlers were you know not helping the matter. Um, You'll always carry this pain. No, I agree. I think I will, because I never had closure, and that's the biggest thing. Is you know, people have moved on with their lives, and Mike's still around. Nothing but good memories. You know, I'll never have closure with people. They've moved so far on with their lives, and I'm a bad footnote, and I don't want to be a bad footnote in people's lives. I want to at least be remembered. If you're gonna hate me, at least remember the good things that I did. You know. Um, how badly burn bridges happen at the same time. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just an unlucky fucking time, man. It was just, you know, it's the darkest period of my life, you know. And I had cancer on my spinal cord, and I would take that over this pain, you know. But you know, I was able to basically laughed out loud at the "nothing but good memories" quote. I was sitting behind the camera when they asked about those two guys, and when he said that, I was like, "Oh my god!" But I was there when I was there for when they let the fucking thing taped to the ceiling, and I was just like, Why would you put that out there?" I just remember getting like super angry. I was like, "You're giving people more ammunition," but they didn't care. That's the whole fucking thing, you know. As long as they keep getting the ad money, but you know, but everybody has their part to play in that. Everybody, you know, they took the money. You know, I took the paycheck. I did the extra work because, and I didn't get paid for it. I never saw any Patreon money or stuff. Or you know, if you go back for the AVGM 1 and 2 game, I directed the documentary about it. You know, nothing plagiarized about that. But like, I don't know. There was just a lot of times where I just sat there um, and listened to things and be like, "This is bad. Like, this is bad for everybody." Shooting to save away Bell's palsy. Yeah, and that was your real friends are these people. Yeah, no, again, but yeah, the Bell's palsy thing. I didn't think that that's what he was gonna do, and that did hurt. That hurt my feelings. That really did because I was so embarrassed of all of that. Is that the For Loco Pinot Noir? No, it's Amber brought me a bottle of wine the other day for my birthday, and a really nice card. But yeah, you know, it was so mean spirited, not funny. I know, but they, you know, it was a joke. It was a joke after that for a long time. Um, but I let it happen. I didn't say anything about it because I knew that the only way that I was going to get seen and get things done was to be part of that, and that meant being second banana. But that it did hurt my feelings, and but I didn't say anything about it, and I should have. I should have said no to that, because I was dealing with just being super embarrassed. We had to go to a convention in Detroit, and I couldn't close my eye, and like half my face is paralyzed, and you got to do like a panel and meet people and stuff like that. And I was embarrassed the entire time. I wore a mask, like a COVID mask, the whole time, just so people couldn't see that like I couldn't move this side of my face. And I was just like, oh, I have to be careful because I had cancer. But really, I was just embarrassed, Or like when I pitched the Toxic Crusader game, I went to Lloyd Kaufman first, and then he got me in touch with Michael Hers, who I'd only met once or twice. Where was the convention at? It was Astronomicon. We went to that twice while I was there. But we had a meeting with Michael Hers, and I pitched the game, and I sat on the other direction, just so they couldn't see my face. I thought he was my friend. I really did, but I was foolish. I think I was caught up in the fact that we're getting views, and I had something like we used to do Underbelly back before. You guys probably don't even remember Underbelly. That was the first show that I did. I thought he was my friend, but I was wrong. And you learn that about people. Did you hear I maybe go to Mill Creek in trouble? Oh, really? Oh, don't fuck with Mill Creek. They'll send some public domain guys to kill you. Bela Lugosi as the ape man will come to your house and kill you. But yeah, I don't know. It should be water under the bridge. I have sore feelings about things because I replay things in my head about that time period, and like, had I zigged instead of zagged, would things be different? And would these people still be in my life? And would I never found out all this kind of stuff? And would they never have found out stuff about me too? Like, I probably could have gone my whole life without people knowing that I was sexually assaulted. Stuff like that. I believe because he was jealous of you. I don't think so. I mean, he had way more. He was making more money than me. People. He was more popular. I genuinely enjoyed just being part of something and getting to produce it, and even ones that I wasn't in, I was putting them all together, and and capturing the all the oh yeah, Bell's palsy. I remember that was right before you left. Yeah, that was because I was on the Discord for the other channel because I didn't have a Discord. Um, was he a dick to you and everything went down? No, he just didn't talk to me. No, he did. He did talk to me, but I'm not going to get into that conversation because there was some accusations thrown that I had to defend myself on because I don't appreciate that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, we hadn't talked. So what movie I love? The Invisible Ray. He was great. Karloff sidekick. Fuck you. Actually, I have the Ed Wood poster right here. Yeah, and I think it's better, that we didn't talk again because I think that I probably would have said some things that would have made things worse. But I know people have asked about me over there and they just don't answer it. But yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. They've gone on and they're successful in their own way, and I've gone on and I'm trying to build my own thing and be genuine and be open with people and admit to my fuck ups because I fucked up a lot, And again, I look back and apply a lot of the animosity that that girl has for me is because I was not right. Like I wasn't right. I was so jealous of guys in New York that she was working with who were tall and handsome I know I don't know much about Kieran, and I read the Massacre Reddit. It's what's your take on Kieran? So Kieran used to do a public access show with Will from Will on the Street, and we invited him to the Pokeholics Anonymous shoot that we did, and it was the first time we had worked with him. And he was a fan of the show. He actually came to, he was like really heavy and he didn't have the beard. He came to an event that I held in Atlantic City called Trailer Trash. I ran a whole night of movie trailers, and then he was always around when we were filming stuff. But I past is the past. Don't do any good to steal it. I know. But yeah, he's very talented. He was very talented. I knew he was a good animator. He did some stuff for me for Midnight Show that I've gotten rid of because I don't want to deal with that. But he had a serious drinking problem and a serious anger problem, and he just kind of wandered around at work. Like I had to put one of those red recording lights outside of my door to keep him and Sean out of my office because I don't fucking feel like talking about Street Fighter 2. I don't feel like talking about Resident Evil 2. I don't know anything about those things. Can I get my work done? And then after I was gone, he talked about me crying in the office and made me look like a pussy. And there's a lot more to that story. And, but I know things about him that, would color people's perception of him, His girlfriend apparently has a serious burping problem. His girlfriend used to be my assistant. His girlfriend used to be, I had to have an assistant. Oh yeah, real anger problem. No, he was, he has a serious anger problem. He got beaten up by his then girlfriend's current boyfriend, who's actually his ex-girlfriend's been in 2 reviews of mine, and the boyfriend was too. I wouldn't consider Hack to be successful. I don't know, but like they it's enough that it's a job. It's enough that you could review movies for a living. I run a movie theater every day, and I do odd jobs for people to pay the bills and stuff like that. And while also trying to make movies and comic books and stuff like that. Sold my entire movie poster collection, except for the stuff I have now. I did a lot of things so that I could get the comic book going. I did a lot of things so I can get the movie going. It's put me back. Like the reason I don't have a car right now is because I spent so much money on the movie. But that's his job. And if I played my cards right, that could have been my job too, but that wasn't the way it was going to be. So, and I gave up a long time. I gave up like way before even that show of believing that I was ever going to like make it as a YouTuber or anything like that. I just, notice this channel. I want to make a skin suit out of you. Thank you. Look who it is. Mr. I'm heading to the Bellagio. Meanwhile, I'm rooting for Newt to succeed. Me too, man, But like that's the kind of shit. It's like you take all that bad stuff, but you do have people who still want to see you be successful. You do have people who will put their money into you doing a silly project when you go, I want to make a haunted pool toy movie, and for somebody to go like, okay, I'll give you money for that, But Tony really doesn't seem talented. Surround himself with talented people. Yeah. What about Joanna? I never really. I don't know. She became very good friends with the redhead. So I think that any good that I had done on that side, because I had helped her out with a couple things. Do you think they will ever lose weight? Didn't they? Didn't he there's a dude who harasses me on Instagram who will send me pictures of them constantly to like get under my skin. And he's like, he's looking so fucking good, man. He's lifting weights and doing all the shit. I'm like, good for him, dude. He's almost 40. Like eventually that shit catches up with you. Justin's probably going to die, And I tried to get him into shit to lose weight and stuff like that. But no, I don't know. I was told that they all had lost weight and were doing great and stuff like that. So good for them, yeah. Newt's a stud with 6 sideburns. I just need to get a haircut because we got to finish the movie. I'm a child of divorce. I support Newt and Tony. That's fine, It's I don't want people to choose a side, We both do very different things, I try to be nice to everybody. I try to listen to everybody, When people need my help, I try to help them. So lots of love, bud. New job keeps me from. Well, thank you for coming in, Hell Knight. The Paperboy trailer posted on Discord, a real move. You did. No, it was a fake trailer. I had that idea way back in 2010, actually, and they wouldn't do it for the old show I was on Underbelly. So I did it with Silvermania, and I paid for the entire thing. Just Tony talking shit about Johanna, and it was very meh, not funny anymore. Yeah, I mean, because those two used to date, but Newt weighs 155. I think I'm below 155 now. I did Paperboy, I did coin slots. I've got 2.5 hours worth of fake trailers I made. Dumb right wing politics. Yeah, I never got into that shit either. I don't like that. Whatever you want to believe, you want to believe. There's a lot of shit that I'm very right wing about. There's a lot of shit that I'm very left wing about. I think as long as just be nice to people. Uh, can you put me in your will for the Dr. Butcher MD poster? You got it. Below 135, I think I'm 145 now. I think I'm back to where I was in high school. But a lot of it was the second surgery that I had. My bladder was like disjointed basically. So once they got rid of that, it took a lot of the pressure off of my stomach, and I was able to get back to a place. But it's harder with not having the use of my left knee. So I can't run. I ride the bike. I walk a lot, but I have to be very careful. I can't pivot properly or it becomes displaced. So I wear the brace. Getting old sucks. But when my friend was here last week, and she was showing me like some stretching things. Newt walks the bike. I ride a bike, and please address that toupee. What toupee? You could see where my hairline's receding. You can see where, yeah. No toupee. Trust me, if I was gonna wear a toupee, I'd get a good one. Like, I have an actual forehead now. My hairline used to be like down here. I looked like Eddie Munster. And if it starts to go, like if the top starts to go, I'll just shave it all off. It's no point in holding on to it. But yeah, no, I don't know. It's my hair. Yeah, I thought that was weird. People were talking about that I wear a toupee. Are you buying a Tesla bot? No. I have a couple of years on you, Newton. I highly recommend getting into yoga. Yeah, Amber and I used to do, not the Amber who's going to be in Wednesday's video, the other Amber. She used to take me to yoga, and we did that for quite a while. I did the DDP thing for a while because when I did that, what's it called thing? I did that thing with Freddy Krueger. You show the feature film on your forehead. Wow, thanks. Pulling a muscle, doing mundane things, not becoming a hat guy. No, I'll never. I don't need. I don't have a Mortal Kombat hat. How's the dating been going? Is it on pause? I wouldn't date anybody. Newt shaving his head indicates that he's joined the dog walker cult. No, I'm not going to be doing that. Even because Brad shaved his head too. And about that cancer, is it benign? Yeah, I go. It wasn't cancer. I had scar tissue that had built up into my urethra again. It was blocking off my. Do you have any dating apps? No, I never signed up for them. That was funny. It's a conversation that she and I had on Tuesday about like that I should get onto dating sites and stuff like that. And I was like, I work too much. I have to buy a car right now. I'm trying to finish a movie. I'm not. I'm not somebody who should be going out there trying to. I don't want to add my shit to someone else's shit. I thought you were dating a woman that lives near your previous place. No, I went on a date with a former. I don't know. She and I used to sleep together, but I asked her on my birthday to go on an actual date, and we still talk, but like I live too far away now, so it was just kind of like a cool thing to catch up with, an old friend. She came out to the film shoot too. I had her hold the umbrella over the camera. But no, I haven't, I don't have any fucking self-esteem, man. Like the redhead took it all. That was kind of the last time that I felt like, vigorous, it was the last time I had like, made love basically, like that kind of thing. Now it's just kind of like, I'm just trying to get through the days, I'm just trying to, finish the movie, come home, see my cat, I don't need to go out and add any shit to you're like Austin Powers when he lost his mojo. I need some mojo, I thought you were dating a furry? Who's the furry? I do have a really funny picture though. I walked in on the wrong room for a party, and there was a bunch of furries wearing like trans flags things, and like they took a picture of me, and I looked like I was caught like a deer in headlights because I had no fucking clue what was going on. I just walked in the wrong room. Nah, the furries are weird, dude. Furries are, if you're into it, you're into it. It's your own thing. I know Metz is into furries, but I don't know. I've been to some of these things, and I'm just like, yikes. Uh, I think you need some B movie hose. Well, that's it's like a scene from The Shining. Yeah, basically the the bear man or dog man or whatever. No, I don't know. I'm excited that I get to work with attractive women. You given the opportunity, would you show some classic William Castle flicks and bring back the theater gimmick? That'd be cool. Is there a reason you don't say her name? I don't need problem. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. I don't need. I'm not talking bad about anybody. I don't want that to be the assessment of it. I have wonderful memories of those people. Some of my favorite memories of my entire life are with those people. Um, and a lot of the projects that I created that I'm most proud of are with those people. So yeah, you need more Melissa in your life. Well, if she would fucking show up again, and yeah, the William Castle thing would be cool. I actually have a brochure from the Tingler that they sent to the projectionist that you would put like how to install the buzzers under the seats and stuff like that. I got that in an auction maybe in like 2015, so it's really cool. I'm a big fan of gimmicks when it comes to film. The midnight spook shows and stuff like that. I have that Ghostmakers book that was like super. You've been called the Tingler. Um, any people wearing cloaks and holding goat skulls stalking your new place? No, but then we shot something like that. Newt is jagged, just like Patrick Swayze in Dirty Dancing. He just needs to dance in the accessories of Matthew Broderick's crime. Yeah, I agree with that. Buzzers under the seats. Yeah, they were decommissioned motors from World War II that they used. Has anyone thought about using Atomo-Vision? That'd be kind of cool. Would you love to see you? I'd love to see you do the horror host idea. Yeah, I wrote that for her, and I kind of redid it a little bit for Fallon, but she didn't really get it. It's not really her thing, so it kind of died. Current day gimmicks seem to be those 4D theaters. Yeah, the X or whatever they're called. But I mean, I was watching a documentary earlier about the Blair Witch Project and like that gimmick of using uh, just find a nice girl at your local synagogue. I don't think there are any synagogues around here, and I'm not Jewish. I'm nothing. Wait. Talk more about the buzzer thing. Yeah, so they had these World War II motors that were decommissioned. So William Castle bought a ton of them, and the managers or projectionists would install them under certain seats, and then they would trigger them during the movie, and it would buzz the seat, and that's when because in the movies like scream the Tingler's in the theater, and then only certain screens would buzz, and that was the gimmick for that. But they were all these World War II these little motors from World War II. They were just like there was an abundance of them. So that's a really fucking cool thing. So I have one of the brochures. Could we get a mini long legs review? I want to hear why you didn't like it, if that's okay. I did not like it. I thought that the conceit of it, the twist, came too late into the movie. Worst place you've ever done the deed? Oh God, a lot of interesting places. In a dressing room, in a Boscov's, in a long traffic stop on 4th of July while taking someone back to college. I didn't like it at first, but I thought of daily. Yeah, I mean, I think the more that I thought about it, the more I liked it. Are there any where movie theaters use gimmick that end up being real? A real vampire brings someone you have. Well, they used to do that for the spook shows where like Monsters Crash the Pajama Party. They would have like people in the audience that kind of looked like the people on screen. I've done it in a cemetery as well. And then they would have like, there'd be an ape in the movie, and then the ape would run off screen, and then it would come out from underneath the screen and grab that person, run, it was cool. Long Leg was great. The third act was terrible. Yeah, I think that if we got that twist earlier in the movie, I think I would have gone with it a little bit more, because it was like, they marketed it more as like Sounds of the Lambs kind of thing. And I think if they had worked more of that Satanic Panic thing into it earlier, I think it was too dry for its own good as well. The kind of autistic FBI agent girl, I think that she needed a little bit more of a tweak. But I thought that Alicia Witt was great as the mom. I thought that Nicolas Cage was fucking great. You know, are you interested in the new Predator movie? The Predator is the protagonist. Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, I mean, I like the last one. You're like an open book. You're funny. Whatever, you know. What more, you know? I don't know. People recently have been asking me if I'm Jewish. I don't know what that's about. Boobs or butt? I have boobs. I'm a boobs guy. Again, these are all conversations you're going to hear in the next 5 weeks videos because Amber asked me all these questions. I did love how they spell things out for you. The only idea that takes place in the 90s was the Bill Clinton picture. Yeah, which the Bill Clinton picture was a huge part of, like, he was a main character of the movie. It's like the boom mic in Dolomite. Like, it's a whole other character. Yeah, I got nothing to hide. You know, there's nothing, you know. Uh, you're Jewish and you bang Amber. Did not bang Amber. Did not. She has a boyfriend. We used to. You know, but she was my girlfriend in high school and in college. You know, Newt, are you have a good word for me for the Jews? Uh, I don't know. I used to be a boyfriend. Shalom. I don't know. I love the Jewish people. You know, you know, some great fucking people are Jewish. You know, but some great people are Catholics. Some great people are Muslim. You know, I don't discriminate. You know, appreciate a goodness that is Pam Grier. I love Pam Grier. She was my first like real like I need to find a woman like that. You know, that was I'd never seen anybody like that before. Um, how that Jewish rumor started. I don't know. I don't. I guess people say I look Jewish. I don't know what that means. I have a big nose. I don't know. That's a thing. But I don't know. I mean, if I was, who fucking cares? You know, like my grandmother, my dad's mom was raised Jewish. She abandoned that when she married my dad's dad, my grandfather, my namesake, and he made her become Catholic. I think they were, and then raised Catholic, but my dad cheated on my mom all the time and ate meat on Friday and cursed and all that kind of stuff. And you know, so it's always a do as I say, not as I do kind of thing. So, and I abandoned religion in you know, I stopped believing in God in the second grade when the thing that happened to me because I thought, well, God didn't seem to mind that that happened to me, so it made me believe that I'm on my own, you know, and I get more of a spiritual vibe from good friends who are really there for you, and you know, there's good energy that comes from people. But you know, I've read the Torah, I've read the Quran, I've read the Bible. You know, I wanted to know what I was an edgy teenager. I wanted to know what I was rebelling against. And I've had, you know, but I see the good in those things. You know, but I don't know. I'm not a religious person. I would never, you know, I'd never besmirch anyone for their religion either. Like that's fucked up. Whatever you want to believe, believe. Just be good to people. You know, don't hurt women and kids and animals, and we're good. You know, and just be open to the dumb movies that I like. That's all I ask of people. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, a couple people have said that to me recently, and I was like, whatever. I don't care. You know, I'm nothing. I'm not. You know, I don't even believe in myself. I believe in movies. I believe in cinema. That's the church that I go to. Is I go to the movies, and that's the only thing that's always been there for me. Was you can escape into a movie, you can escape into a comic book, you can escape into a TV show, a video game, whatever you know, whatever takes the fucked up shit from outside and just makes it okay for a little while. Like that's really all I'm looking for, and that's why I kind of go back to the same movies and stuff like that constantly. Is there's a sense memory there. There's something that brings you back to a time when things were better or things made sense or you were with somebody or whatever. You know, there's a lot of like songs that do that. I always think songs are like the closest thing to like time travel because you hear something and it brings you back to a place, a smell, a time, a person, a place. And you know, I love that. You know, it's you know, I don't know. This is all shit you're gonna see in the videos in the next few weeks. We've had all these conversations, and you know, and we just look at each other longingly. Uh, did you see the 2023 movie Outwaters? No, I've never heard of that one. Um, what's that one about? I don't know. I've never heard of it. I'd look it up, but I'm using my phone to record this right now. Um, uh, let's see. How many movies do you think you've watched in your lifetime? Oh, well over 500. Yeah. I saw that he died. I saw that today, actually. Uh, is he though? Big fan of Sodom and Gomorrah. We believe in you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm not taking anyone back to the past. I'm not doing any of that stuff. It's a found footage Lovecraftian mindfuck. Ooh, okay. Wait, is that the one? No, that's not the one Barbara Crampton's in. You're the only Jewish moderator on Stormfront, I guess. Imagine that. He has a pamphlet for me. Yeah, I've met my share of Jehovah's Witnesses. And see, I didn't even know what that Stormfront thing was until we were actually when we first signed with it wasn't Normal Boots, because we were on Normal Boots at one point. Next New Networks. When Google bought Next New Networks, when we signed our contract with them when we were Underbelly, we were in New York at the. Did you see Heretic yet? No, I haven't yet, but that's on my list. We were in New York for a meeting with YouTube. We went to the YouTube buildings, and because that was the day I got in trouble. There was a I don't know what it was. Be careful, Nazis are nice people now. I won't agree with. I can't go that far. I won't go there. But yeah, we were in New York, and there was a guy in the YouTube offices who was trying to see why he couldn't monetize something that was connected to Stormfront, and I didn't know what that was. And they were like, "Well, look it up." And I looked it up, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, erase my laptop. I was like, throw it out the window. I was like, "Oh no!" But there's a lot of shit that I like. Noose in trouble. I just can't believe it. No, I'm not in trouble. Storytelling is always around. As long as humans have ever told stories, even in fiction, sin is poetic, meaning is trash, nonsense. Of course it is, and that's the whole thing. Is become a Hare Krishna. Didn't George Harrison become a Hare Krishna? Good hygiene is key. Never go full vinegar down below. No, that goes for guys and girls. You need to keep your space clean. Because I like going down there and the ladies, and it's the one time having a big nose helps. But yeah, you need a good workspace. God, now I'm like, whoever's in here is like thinking I'm a fucking like racist or something like that. Let's see, what did I miss here? You should become a Hare Krishna. Heretic was okay. It's typical A24. I feel like they came up with the clever ending and then built backwards. Talking about God, religious, what is your take on Passion of the Christ? What was funny about Passion of the Christ was it's 2 times I've ever had a bomb threat called into the theater. And the first time was for Dogma, when I was just started working at the theater, and the second time was for Passion of the Christ. In the beginning, church groups thought that it was like blasphemous, and they didn't see it yet, and they were against it, and then they all became for it. But I remember getting a bomb threat, and we had to clear everybody out. Yeah, we've had two bomb threats, and that was fucking crazy. I've only seen parts of the movie. It's like Texas Chainsaw Jesus. Can't be racist. They all look the same. Yeah, I don't have a goatee and some Oakleys. I don't have a truck, so I can't hang fake testicles from it. I don't know. I don't hate anybody, man. I've met good people of every persuasion. I've met bad people from every persuasion. And it's just, you try to treat people well and hope that they treat you well. And and that's one of my big problems. Is as much as I hate people, I love people, and I want to hear from people. I want to hear about people. I'm so interested in others. Your people killed Jesus, but I don't hold it against you. No, I think Jesus got caught because he was wearing sandals. It's very hard to run from the Romans in sandals. So I put that on him. Passion of the Christ is just a BDSM movie. It totally pissed off Christians saying that. Yeah, but I mean, did they cancel the run because of the bomb threat? No, it became more popular after that. I'll never forget the heavyset guy I used to be really good friends with. He was my employee, and we were going to clean a movie that came out of that, and there was this huge white lady, a big fat white lady, and she grabbed me and pulled me into her boobs and was like, "Never forget." And I was just like, "What the fuck is happening?" Like, Jesus was Jew. People seem to forget that. Like in the beginning of Clerks 2, he's like, "You ever read this book? Do you know Jesus was a Jew?" Was the main character in Saltburn based off you? Uh, no, well, I left the bathroom door open the other day when I got out of the shower. I have a shower bathtub. And the cat was licking the drain. I was like, "You're like the fucking dude in Saltburn. Like, what's wrong with you?" No, I didn't like that movie either. I thought that was another one that was just like outside of the shock scenes, there was really nothing about it that I particularly found engaging. And that guy's the Joker in the Matt Reeves movies. But yeah. The Blues Brothers that's a good religious movie. Apparently, while filming The Passion of the Christ, there's always random things happening. Yeah, Jim Caviezel got struck by lightning while he was like crucified or something like that. You know, you look like oh wow, okay. I don't see that, but I'll take it. People like that dude. He's got like a hot girlfriend, so I'll take that. Yeah, and they're doing a sequel to The Passion of the Christ. I want to do it like a revenge movie. Like first he came as a lamb, now he's coming back as a lion. Just him with like people in America that like guns and Jesus. I was like, let's put those two fucking things together and have Jesus with AK-47s hunting down the Romans and all that kind of stuff. I was like, that'd be a great movie. I hated Dunkirk. Yeah, I didn't like Dunkirk either. It didn't feel like a movie. It felt like your movie be streaming on Pure Flix. I thought about that. It's kind of funny. Somebody asked me to write a religious movie, and do you believe the movie can be cursed? I think that people look at occurrences, and we're trying to find, we're all trying to find reasons for things. And if enough bad things happen, you go, "Oh, it's cursed." It's really just it's how our minds work. Let's see. The Banshee in The Irishman was good though. Yeah, I agree with that. Marry, fuck, or kill Ed Wood, William Castle, and Roger Corman. I would fuck Ed Wood. I would marry Roger Corman, and I would kill William Castle. Yeah. How did you feel about Trump's win? I'm indifferent towards all of our political leaders on both sides. There's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of things I lean very liberal on. There's a lot of things I lean very, very right wing on. Does Mel have a big bush? Not really. No, I mean, it could be different now. I don't know. But yeah, I don't. Life is hard enough as it is. And let's just start helping people. Let's make things better and not worse. And a big thing is like, I don't care if you're right wing or left wing. Fucking these, fucking pedophiles. I don't care if it's your side or not. You should be all for getting rid of these fucking people. Because again, somebody who was abused as a child, I can't excuse the Matt Gaetz people and stuff like that. And if it was happening on the other side too, I would be like, yeah, fuck those guys. Let's get them out of here, But Blink twice. I didn't see Blink twice. Eternals 2 is dead. They just said the Eternals would be in another movie. Yeah, I didn't like that one. It was too earth tony. I thought that was one that needed to be more colorful because it was based on Jack Kirby, and I expected it to be more colorful. And it was very bland looking. Had an idea for an Animal House knockoff that involved a Christian fraternity facing off against a rival fraternity, basically making a spoof on modern day religious flicks. Yeah, I probably get bomb threats on that too. But no, somebody had come to me. What did you think of In a Violent Nature? There was more walking in that than in fucking Lord of the Rings. I fell asleep in the last 20 minutes of it, and Lana and Dave woke me up. So I think that tells you what I thought. I like the scene where he pulls the girl's head through like her back, but for the most part, I fell asleep. Yes, if you mess with kids, you're out. Yeah, exactly. I don't care if you're right wing, left wing. We need to stop the whataboutism and shit like that. That bothers me. Kevin Smith postponed Dogma. Still protest. Yeah, I remember when he protested Dogma. I remember seeing that. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't care. I just want things to be better for people. You know, in a violent nature would have worked if short film. Yeah, I think it was too long. Um, were you in Late Night with the Devil? No, I wish I was. That guy was in the Ava Jen movie. But I liked that movie a lot. I liked. What would you like, Elvira? Kissing my cat. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was too long. Do you still plan on making a musical based on Schindler's List? Yes, I do. Um, you know, uh, I don't know. I haven't seen that movie in decades. Kevin Smith's new flick is pretty good. I wanted to see it. It wasn't playing anywhere near me. Um, uh, Boy Kills World was a lot of fun and nobody liked it. Um, Polka Dot Man becoming a film. Yeah, and he was good. I liked him a lot as Polka Dot Man. But that dude's been acting like forever, like Dark Knight, stuff like that. Oh, going back to the religious thing. So after I wrote a gay movie for these producers. They wanted like a gay slasher movie, and the writer that they had was not was was a gay man, and he wasn't doing what they wanted. So they asked me to do a rewrite because I know the producer, and he's just like just don't say anything that's going to get us in trouble. So I wrote him a script, and they really liked it. But then one of the dudes who worked on that was doing a religious movie, and he asked me if I wanted to write a religious movie, and I really didn't have any frame of like I have a lot of gay friends, but I don't have like a frame of reference on like belief, so I passed on that one. Dilf Academy, I told you that's a good idea. We'll get like Lisa Ann in it and shit like that. Requiem for Jeffrey Epstein. No, that dude can rot in fucking hell. That's like I don't believe in religion, but I hope that hell is real for some of these people. Um, Again, it's not fucking funny because I was abused as a kid by somebody, so I can't play that game, man. It's not like there's certain things I just can't. I can't go there when it comes to like, haha, it's funny. So yeah, that doesn't do it for me. And I love making fucking vile jokes. There's so much shit that got cut out of, Nutria and an Alf slasher flick. um, uh, Glad I ate her too. Um, but yeah, so I couldn't write a religious movie. But the Dilf Academy, I'm all for it because originally the idea that I pitched him was the monster car wash one and doing like a 90s like bikini car wash company, but like with sexy versions of the monsters. We couldn't get the location, so we did Amityville Pool Toy Massacre instead. But I still very much plan on, I definitely want to do like a very 80s late night Skinamax type of movie and just bring it back to that. Biggest letdown of the year, The Crow, Joker 2, or Maxine. Maxine probably, because the other two I didn't have much. I didn't have much going into it that I thought they were going to be good. Especially when I heard about the Joker. I liked the Joker. I liked elements of the Joker. Crow, I had no. I knew that was going to be a fucking mess. Maxine, I think, was the biggest letdown because the other two were really good, and this had things in it that I liked, but there was too many threads, and not everything. It didn't have time for everything. And by the time that one got to its third act too, it's just like, well, this is a fucking mess. We're just throwing everything at the wall now. So I'd say that was probably my biggest letdown of the year on that one. But no, I want to make a. I want to make a. Did you watch any of the Penguin show yet? No, not yet. I canceled my HBO Max because I just couldn't afford it. I had so many things going on. The Crow had an idea, it didn't work, and never needed a reboot. And it's funny because it did. I liked Strange Darling. That was very good. I like Kyle Gallner a lot. Impressive for crapping on its own fans. Yeah, it was a troll job, Yeah, the Crow. It's weird because the Crow movie, this one, was far closer to the comic book in a lot of things. I still want to see a Three Ninjas reboot. Yeah, I could see that happening. Hulk Hogan's still alive. You could bring him back for the second one, and Jim Varney's dead. We could have an AI Jim Varney. Lonnie Anderson's still alive. But yeah, no, I want to make a Skinamax movie. I want to make a straight up 90s, late night Cinemax type of movie at some point, and just kind of buck the PC of it all. Because I think that, like, they say, oh, you could never make Blazing Saddles. And I was like, yes, you can. Because the one thing I look at is if you make a movie that's offensive on purpose, but it has something to say, you're going to get so much, people are going to be talking about it so much. And if after the talk dies down, people are still talking about they remember the movie, then you've done your job, So I think you could make like a misogynistic but fun movie, car wash horror, like The Mangler. No, it would just be like a sexy car wash, bikini car wash kind of thing, but with monsters. And there's a whole reason for it. It's tied to like OnlyFans. They got hobos fighting bum fights with Hulk Hogan being racist and training them. I'd watch that movie. That would be a fucking gritty reboot right there. I only saw the first Three Ninjas. I remember I saw it in the theater because I still to this day remember Rocky Loves Emily or something like that. I think that was the thing. And the three white kids had an Asian grandfather. I remember that. But there was I used to get that confused with Surf Ninjas. There was that at one point. There was a lot of weird shit in the 90s when I was like a kid. So, yeah. Were you working on a film, Only Fangs? No, I changed it to Ghouls, Ghouls, Ghouls. That's actually the one that the producer of Amityville Pool Toy Massacre, it's in here right now. That was the first thing that we talked about was Ghouls, Ghouls, Ghouls. And it was originally called Only Fangs. And then the guys who did Murder Size, they got the name up before me. So I had to change it to something else. So I changed it to Ghouls, Ghouls, Ghouls. Same thing with Sharkula. I happened to change that to Jaws Ferratu because I got fucked over by my old boss holding on to the rights to it and I had to buy it back. But yeah, that's a really funny idea. And their OnlyFangs movie looks really fucking funny. It's got Drew Marvick and Jessa Flux, who are both in Triple Xmas with me. They're very nice people. Kansas Bowling, who's also in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. BC Butcher, Psycho Ape 1 and 2. She's really good. It's going to be good. It's going to be, but mine was a very different idea that would be kind of like a mixture of a Skinamax movie mixed with like the Monkees or Scooby-Doo. It has like this very kind of poppy, playful, but sexy thing. And there've been a lot of monster boobs in it. Frankenstein, the Bride of Frankenstein, instead of having nipples, would have the bolts. Tough to pull off offensive with a message. Like Eminem's new album, people really split. I think, but you can do it though. Let's look at South Park. You just have to dig into your ideology and look at it objectively. Like you can't go like it's my way or the highway on a lot of this stuff. You have to look at it, from both sides and then kind of find a way to tell the story where you're kind of shitting on both of them, equally. And I think that's the best way to do it. That's what somebody like South Park does so well, is going like both sides are fucking crazy, man. Everybody's fucking nuts, Team America, yeah, Team America's great. I think that one's hilarious. And the fact that they because they're big fans of Megaforce, and they wanted to make like a Megaforce movie. And that's a terrible but fun movie. I love that movie with Barry Bostwick. But yeah, they wanted to do like a Megaforce style movie with marionettes, and the Chiodo brothers, who did Killer Clowns from Outer Space, they built all the marionettes and stuff like that. That's a fun one, and that's a one that was like could only have been made post 9/11 too, where we're in this jingoistic pro-American, we're gonna bomb the fucking Eiffel Tower because they said stuff about us. We got freedom fries over here, and it's just like just don't say anything. Just don't say anything and make us look dumb. Just go about our business and do our own shit. And fuck you, France. We're over here doing our thing. But everybody's gonna talk and eventually I say dumb shit all the time. Matt Damon, and the only reason he talks like that is when they got the head back, it looked retarded. So they were like, we're just gonna have him say his name. The Film Actors Guild. But yeah, people go like, oh, you could never make that joke now. And again, I think if the people I used to work with ever wanted to release some of the jokes that we made back then, because I made some filthy fucking jokes. If they ever released that stuff, I'd probably get canceled. Are you writing anything right now? No, I just finished Infestoids. I turned in a new draft of that. I'm waiting to hear what we're going to shoot in this ghost town. I'd love to find out about that. And no, that's it right now. I don't know. I'm not really. I pushed myself to. Wasn't. Yes, he was. Yep. Yeah. But again, that's context. That was a joke within an episode that was making fun of niche YouTubers, and the racist internet nerd was that one. It was making fun of those type of people, but they took that screenshot and they spun it out without context. And that's one of the other things when it comes to comedy being offensive is you have to understand the context of it. And if you don't understand the context, you're just angry because it doesn't fit your ideology. Well, that's a problem because comedy should be making fun of everyone. You know, that's what, you know, that's the one thing that brings us together is you take two fucking people that are opposite sides and find something about them. Let's see. Something weird. I wanted to show my nephew the Scientology episode of South Park, but it's not available on Paramount. Yeah, they took that one down. You should try to cast Nicolas Cage. I'd love to. If I could, you know, if I could cast Nicolas Cage, I would. You know, I'd be that'd be awesome. Yeah, no, I don't know. Not reading that other one because good for you, man. I the only N word I say is my own name. Any physical media you're hoping to purchase sooner or later? I don't know. Did you get into Tales of the Zombies, Dracula, Frankenstein, Man? Oh yeah, all those Marvel, you know, the 70s Marvel books, Giant Size Man Thing, Tomb of Dracula, Werewolf by Night, Frankenstein. I had all those growing up because I was super into horror. And there was a comic shop that was around the corner from our house where I got the some of my back issues I talked about, and they had like quarter boxes, and I would go through those and just get all kinds of like, you know, horror books and shit like that. So like Famous Monsters magazine, Heavy Metal, getting those because they had nudity in them, and like my parents never checked the comics that I read, so I was always like, I've got these books with like, you know, big titties in them and shit like that, and heads blowing up and stuff. I heard Nicolas Cage can only be contacted by Raven. I have to go. Hey, man, thank you so much. Any desire to see Red One? I watched some of it at work because we have it right now. It's got really bad CGI, and it seems just completely uninspired. Even the score, everything is epic, but everything feels empty. And that's the biggest thing is, you know, New finding the box of Playboys in the woods. I talked about that. I don't remember where I talked about that. I really appreciate you telling them using the universal lore in tandem with public domain to tell a contrary story. Yeah, that was cool, right? Again, like Monster Squad, you can't make it look too much like the universal ones. Michigan, we have a film festival every year called Uncaged. Oh, that's awesome with Nick Cage movies. That's great. But no, I thought that was cool because I grew up on the Universal movies, but I also grew up on the Ham movies and the AIP movies and stuff like that. So there's always a little bit of that. And then the comics came in. Now you have Dracula, you know, with Spider-Man, and you have Man Thing with Ghost Rider and stuff like that. And it was cool to see those worlds combined and how they took a little bit from here and there and made their own thing out of it. And that's kind of what I did with Planet Frankenstein as well. And that's my favorite thing I ever wrote. It's just too expensive to make. You know, I have to get everything redesigned because it was designed for someone else. But I could find another redhead for that, right? But yeah, that was just like, that was my love of all that stuff, all kind of combined into one movie. I used to have a stack of Heavy Metal magazines, nothing but sex stories. Well, yeah, you know, they were used a lot. Blade bouncing off of Dracula's story as modern Van Helsing. Yeah, I like that too. I loved Werewolf by Night. I thought that was great. I thought that was like the last really good thing that Marvel did. And the way they made Man Thing, I thought was great because I love Man Thing. You know, I'm known for my giant size Man Thing. But yeah, all those books. Did you see that Heavy Metal is starting back up again? Oh, really? Heavy Metal. I got into that. I got into 2000 AD. A lot of. Okay, I'm back. I don't know what happened there. A lot of those British books that came out. I thought were really interesting when I was a kid. It was different type of storytelling, and you know, I knew who Alan Moore was because of Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, and then discovering Saga the Swamp Thing. Yeah, right. But you know, and then Neil Gaiman and all those people who came out of there, Brian Boland's artwork and stuff. So all those guys that came out of that British New Wave, Judge Dredd becoming more and more of tomorrow every year. Yeah, we're moving closer to Peach Trees. That's a movie that I wish got a sequel. I fucking love that movie. I bought a bunch of back issues back in 2017 or so, the 80s, 90s, and 2016. That's cool. I don't really think I have many left anymore. New Blade movie, I don't think is ever going to happen. Not me either. I think we're past that point now. I would just do a Midnight Suns movie. I would take all of the horror Marvel character team and do that. Do Ghost Rider. I would make it Danny Ketch probably, so you don't do that. I like the Nick Cage one. I don't like the movie, but I like the concept of it, and I like him. I wish that the second one was rated R because you got the Crank guys who directed it, and there was a lot of really cool camera work on it. I just remember that they toned it down. Lolita, the woman in the heavy metal magazine back in the day. Yeah, I remember, and a lot of that was Kevin Eastman bought heavy metal, the guy who created Ninja Turtles, and that's when Julie Strain became a big part of it. C. Neil Gaiman has some credible allegations. Oh, yeah, I heard about that. Are we getting a Logan-esque one of Snipes? That'd be cool. Like a one-off to send him off, a Blade one. That'd be neat. I would like literally make him look like the comic book for once. I would, if I was gonna do it, I would do a 70s blaxploitation movie through and through of Blade. I think that would be fucking dope and have like 70s vampires. I think that would be really cool. I heard about the Neil Gaiman allegations. I didn't follow it very closely. So I don't know that much about it. I just remember seeing it popped up in like a comic book feed that I was reading. But yeah, I didn't know much about that one. I'm just under the impression now that everyone who I've ever liked is a sex pest, and I can't have, nobody wants to have sex with me, so I don't have to worry about it. All my old girlfriends just come around to, they corroborate my stories. Blade on child support to pay off the blood-sucking tax agent. It was, yeah, because I remember on Blade 3, like they had to CGI his eyes opening and shit like that. We had, fuck, what's the dude's name with the long blonde hair, the wrestler? He was in Blade 3. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. What you guys know what I'm talking about? Triple H, yes. So we had Triple H in for a signing at Hall of Heroes. I posted the picture before of me and John Cena, and then me and The Rock's dad, because I know nothing about wrestling. But Triple H was telling us that on Blade 3, like he was kicking and punching stunt people, and like they were having a problem with it, and like Triple H wound up like injuring Wesley Snipes to get him to stop doing that. And I was like, holy shit, like that dude was fucking out of his mind, But yeah, not Chris Benoit, no. I when I had my concussion, not last November, yeah, last November, I had a bunch of problems, and I fell on the steps at my old apartment. I got a concussion. I've had 13 concussions in my life, and the doctor was telling me like, you might have to worry about CTE and stuff like that. And I was just like, oh no, I'm gonna Chris Benoit my cat. And the doctor was like, what the fuck did you just say? Let's see here. What did I miss? Let's see what I miss here. What if you do a college movie like PCU, like a dorm of sluts throw a party? Twisted sluts were vampires. There was a Tales from the Crypt episode like that, where he's killed by Hannibal. I didn't know that. What did I miss? You missed a lot. We found out that Newt was a part of the NFL. Yeah, no, sports injuries and work injuries. My brain is mush. So yeah, I've had 13 concussions in my life. So that's yeah. And I find that I'm still sharp. I still remember everything, but I'm always worried about that eventually happening. But that goes to why I'm trying to find closure with so many people in my life and let them know how I feel and that I appreciate them and what they've done for me or being in my life and stuff like that. Will, fucking in here, starting trouble. But no, because I worry about that one day happening, and I want to create something that will last after I'm gone or after I'm a drooling vegetable, So that's kind of my biggest fear in life, is not getting anything out there that people remember me for before before my time's up. Has anyone done like a real football horror movie? Not a porno, I guess the faculty counts. A football horror movie? Not really. I would do. You remember NFL Super Pro, the football superhero? Will make Mets make their presence known. Yeah, Mets will not be available again until December. They because I texted Mets the other day just to see what they're up to because they've been in Pittsburgh for the last couple weeks, and I was like, "What are we going to shoot again?" So they said sometime in December we'll be able to get together and shoot. So we'll do that. Gonna try to get Melissa back out here at two here. She hasn't been here yet. And oh fuck, Mutant League Football. That would be awesome. Mutant League Football and Mutant League Hockey were two AVGN scripts that I wrote that they would never make. And Attack of the Killer Tomatoes was the other one, and then there's the famous Barney one that I wrote that I still think is like the best thing we would have ever done, but that was shut down because it would have been too hard. People would have to do their jobs. Mutant League Football was awesome. I love that game. I had it on Sega. There's a terrible horror movie, Goal of the Dead. I've heard about that. Oh, it's football. I thought it was soccer. I saw a soccer zombie movie. But yeah, Mutant League Football is great. I fucking love that game. And again, Mutant League Hockey too, because I'm a big hockey guy. Newt will direct the Mutant League Football film that be like an R-rated Cool Runnings. Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. That's a movie that I saw at a second run theater because the guy in here earlier was talking about seeing Jurassic Park at a second run theater. I saw Cool Runnings at a like dilapidated second run theater. Field of Dreams is a surprise away from being a suspense thriller. I can see that. There's fucking ghosts. There's baseball ghosts. What's the dude? Joe from the Movie Dumpster guy. He did a horror slasher trailer that I was in, and somebody else used that. I think somebody else beat him to that title, but it was a slasher that just used baseball stuff. I thought that was kind of cool. I was a guy who had his arm ripped off. Can't go use a Steamboat and Steamboat Willie shot remake of Steamboat Willie. And I think the Terrifier people, the effects people worked on that because Fallon's good friends with the director, obviously, Damien, and some other people. It's the Tyson fight all over again. I didn't see it. I figured it was fucking fixed. And then I heard that it was 240 was like the what it was streaming on. So I was like, I don't care. People will tell me that Jake Paul won or Aaron. Which one is it? Aaron Paul? No, Aaron Paul's from Breaking Bad, right? I don't know. Whatever. I didn't care. $1 Billion Baby is a horror movie. Yes, it is. I finished off the bottle. Amber's going to have to bring me more wine. You'll see in the video that we did, we were drinking and smoking a bowl like we used to do when we were teenagers, and and then we did a video after that. So that's almost hard to watch as Funny Games. Funny Games is a fucking hard movie to watch. And again, $1 Million Baby, it's sad when that movie becomes a completely different type of movie. I remember seeing that in the theater and just like not expecting. They didn't advertise it like that. I was like, oh, it's like a boxing movie. I fucking love boxing movies. Rocky and even Southpaw a couple of years ago I thought was really, really good. And then a Gladiator, the one with Cuba Gooding Jr. And I was like, what the fuck? She's fucking paralyzed and she's chewing her own tongue off and shit like that. I'm like, what is happening? And then the dude who writes all the movies with what the fuck is with Seth Rogen. Like he's like retarded and like dudes are beating him up. I'm like, what is happening here? Why is this movie so sad? Let's see if I missed anybody here. Newt hits the giggle bush. I don't really that often. Boys Don't Cry was a good movie. Yes, it was. That was a very good movie. That was like 94, 95, 96 era. I remember it being in the theater. I didn't see it till it was on cable. But yeah, that's a hard movie to watch too. You think about that shit like happens every day, and the giggle bush, I don't smoke very often at all. But she asked me to, so I did. And it made the last video we shot even funnier because we were like joking about it. That's the one that I think people are going to see it and go like, those two are fucking. And it's like, no, we're not fucking, but we gaze at each other longingly in the video because you get snapped back when you're with certain people to old times, and it was funny. I really enjoyed myself. Like Tuesday was a lot of fun. I haven't had anything to look forward to in a while, and to find out that a friend was coming over and to my new place and stuff. Clint Eastwood didn't play in theaters that much. It's a shame. Yeah, jury number 2 or something like that. Juror number 2. They buried it. I know you don't smoke. I've popped in once since you started the channel. Yeah, if somebody offers me, I will. I'm not opposed to it. It's just I was not, never my thing. I've been while we've been shooting the movie. I've had a couple edibles just to take the edge off after we're done filming, because we'll do a 16-hour day, and I'm dealing with actresses that we had 3 actresses in this movie that made things very difficult. Have you watched I Saw the TV Glow? I have not, but I heard good things. The 5 videos can be viewed on YouTube. The 6th video will be on the OnlyFans account. No, right now they're all on Patreon right now, and then they'll be released every Wednesday for the next few weeks. I like the last Indiana Jones movie. I don't know. Edibles are great if they aren't super dosed. Yeah, these were very dosed. So I had to wait until either I got home or I was crashing at Mark's house. Fallon is a diva, be honest. Fallon is a diva, but Fallon and I don't like. Fallon and I will just start yelling at each other. Because I love her and she loves me, and we say it to each other all the time. And we know way more about each other than a lot of people do. Like Fallon and I have known each other since 2012. And she was never allowed to be around because another actress who I used to work with was very intimidated by her. So she wasn't allowed to be around. So when all that stuff happened, Fallon was through all this before. Fallon was dragged on the internet because her ex-boyfriend was a pedophile. Davi Vanity. She used to be the singer in the band Blood on the Dance Floor. And that dude was a fucking diddler. And, and everybody came at her because they thought that she knew. And she had no fucking clue what was going on. So she knew what it was like to be dragged in the public eye like that. So we bonded over that, and we've spent a lot of time together, and we love each other. But when we get on each other's nerves and we start Fallon Vendetta, my friend, but we get on each other's nerves and we clash and we yell at each other. But once we get it out, we apologize, and then we get back on with the show. I think we're very similar in a lot of ways when it comes to like creative ventures. So I like that, she makes me justify decisions, and so so it gets, but it's great. But she's one of my favorite people. She's fucking awesome. She's so good in the movie too. But we get on each other's nerves sometimes, and it happens, and I'm not afraid to back down. I won't back down to her either, and I'm not scared of her. But no, we had some other actresses that were a problem, and it made things awkward for a lot of people. And you're trying to, you get an investment from somebody to make a movie. You put together the schedule. We're going to shoot 30 pages in 3 days across 2 states. You schedule everything down to the wire. Everything is paid for and all good to go. Kombucha is banned on any newt set. Yeah, man, that was I couldn't believe that. I literally couldn't believe that. But those people, they seem to think that they're going to be in the next movie, and I was just like, really, but I kept it professional. We had an issue with a bigger name, and we had to quickly shift everything, and I was able to keep everybody together. We switched a Friday for a Saturday shoot, which was a lot of moving parts. That meant moving effects and stuff around. So I had to pay somebody extra money that we didn't really have in the budget at that point. Do you hear me? I'm not afraid of you anymore. I'm not afraid of her, because I call her out on her bullshit, but she calls me out too. I want to make a superhero movie about a character study of the hero's depression. You can't let go with things. That'd be cool. I had an idea years ago about a superhero who's dwelling over it was kind of noirish. He's dwelling over the people. He sees all the faces of the people that he couldn't save, and he puts a gun to his head and he pulls the trigger, but he can't die. He's bulletproof, so he just has to keep living with those eyes around him at all time. And after he pulled the trigger and put the gun back down, this the side of his head still smoking. The ghosts of all those people he couldn't save are all like bearing down on top of him. And I thought that was kind of fucked up and cool. It would suck to be a superhero. Like it really would, Can't save everybody. No, I learned a lot on this movie. Was it work? Hope I didn't miss anything. Nah, you didn't miss anything. I drank an entire bottle of wine while we were doing this. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Good live stream. Hey, what's going on, Dave? Dave's an incredible artist, done a lot of work for me. What happened to that guy who was the real life filming himself swinging around New York? I never heard about that. I think that's why The Boys is so interesting. Yeah, I like the contrast of the superhero stuff that we know, the action figures and underoos kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, you have to be like there has to be something wrong. Like I used to say this all the time. I was like, how sick is a world that needs a guy in a mask, but also how sick is the guy in the mask? Good live stream, man. I'll talk to you later. All right, good night. Hey, Race. I didn't even see you in here. I didn't see you. If I missed anybody's comments, I'm sorry. Race is in here. Race is a good friend of mine. We were talking about him earlier. We became friends after he was on the Truth, but he reached out to me, and now we're like fucking brothers, talk to each other all the time. We both know each other's problems. I want to go down to Mexico soon, hang out with him. I just got to get some fucking time. Yeah, really. We were talking about you earlier. We're kind of talking about the people I've met in the last 3 years, and making new friends out of very strange places. You talking about me again? Yeah, I was. What are you gonna do about it? A 7-Eleven trip for nachos and a Four Loko in Newt's future. So 7-Elevens around here. There's like a little convenience store that's up the street, but it closes at 9 o'clock. Oh yeah, great times. No, you are. Again, you're one of those people who like, you go like, you have to take the good and the bad of the bad things that happen and the people you lost, but you also gain people out of it. And I think I also gained some people's respect, and I lost people's respect, only good memories at 540. I talked to him. Now we're fucking brothers. We are, we're not fucking brothers, but yeah, no, it's it goes both ways. Coolness, peace out, Girl Scout. See ya. Go get some rest. I gotta go soon too, because I gotta get up super early for work. We've been doing this for 3 hours. But yeah, it's yeah. Question I wanted to ask: if something happened to any DVDs or films you've been in, would you be willing to sign it? Yeah, of course. And I won't charge you like the people I used to work with. Yeah, anything I've done, it's I'm proud of it, and if anybody wants my dumb signature on it, then yeah. It's weird when like people used to ask for signatures. So I never understood that. Like, I don't even know who I am. Why the fuck would you want that? The one thing I did think was funny though is, as soon as they printed up all the new merch for that other show, I got fired. So all that merch that they spent money on had to get thrown away. I took some solace in that. I told that to my therapist. I thought that was pretty funny. And it was expensive too. The new Body Count is really good. Cool to see Ice-T still has it. Yeah, I love him. I've always been a big fan of him. Going back to the Break-In movies. Yeah, I saw him live once in early 2003 or 4, I think. I'm working, so the stream has been great. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad that people are hanging out with us. May ask you in a few weeks. I haven't been on the channel in a while, but your real inspiration, yours would be create and stay my dreams. Yeah, you got to. Even if you're just making shit for yourself, because there was a long period of time there where I thought, I'm just making this for me. I'm just using this to exercise this out of my head, because I thought about just stopping. Well, I mean, I thought about stopping life too, 3 times. But I thought about it's like, just give it up. You're never going to be You're never going to be a professional writer. They're always, so uh, the world's been so busy for, yeah, exactly. Everybody's been super busy, and it's nothing's slowing down anytime soon. So even when people don't watch, they'll pop in from time to time. Very weird to go to Comic-Con and see celebrities charging for signatures. It feels like a genuine, yeah. Because again, I did work with somebody who charged for their signature. I would never do that. That even if I became a big fucking producer and was like, doing real shit, I would never ever fucking, and you always take time to talk to people too. It could be as I remember everybody famous who I met who was a jerk, and I remember all the famous people I met who are cool. And you're gonna remember the famous people who are cool and stuff a lot longer. So yeah, which it's never gonna happen. But even if I ever became successful, like, no, you take time, you talk to people, you thank them for appreciating your work, and you appreciate the time that they've spent watching your work, and something like that. It's what you're supposed to do. Uh, but I don't have to worry about that. I don't think that I'm ever going to have to worry about being a successful professional director, writer, producer. But it was cool. It was weird and cool in the past for people to ask for your signature. I remember I was on the subway in New York in around the time we were doing Underbelly, and a guy recognized me, asked for me to sign something, and I was like, so weird. And then all these people were like asking me, like, what do you do? I was like, oh, I'm on YouTube, and they looked at me like, pfft. And I was like, yeah, all right, you took me right back to grounded level. For a minute, I was feeling good about myself. Thanks a lot, lady. But no, the I'll only sign this if you buy something thing. I don't like that. Do I want people to buy my movies? Yes. But if you buy it, I'll, whatever. Like, I want to make money, but I also want to, like, thank people for buying my art, or don't I don't get charging for autographs. I guess, like, some people, like, that's their profession now. Like, people go to, like, horror conventions, stuff like that. Like, that's how they generate their income. So whatever. I don't think I think it's fine. But like when YouTubers charge for their autograph, like, oh, and you have to spend $50 if you want to get a picture. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, what are you talking about? I just remember sitting there at certain tables and just being like, uh, you know, um, being embarrassed when that stuff happened. What holiday is he going to save now? He's not going to save a holiday. The next one is it's a it's a surf vampire story, and it's called Florida Man in R.I.P. Tide. And it's really fucked up and weird. And I let a friend of mine who drops acid read it, and he goes, "Are you sure you don't do drugs?" And I was like, "No, man, this is all just fucked up shit." So, $100 for a signature of Mr. Beast. Whoa. Uh, I don't get it. I just don't get it. No, no, not well. He charged too, but not for charging for a picture. Somebody else was charging for a picture. He was charging for his autograph, though. Um, you know where to get acid? I don't, but he does. Florida Man will go to space eventually, though. That will happen. I have a really funny spring break SpaceX story that I want to do, where it's like a Elon Musk type person is doing like a space uh, spring break type of thing, and there's a monster that comes from that. So that's I've outlined that, but I haven't written it yet. I've only written two Florida Man scripts, and they're both well over 100 pages. So yeah. But you're never going to run out of stories. Look up Mark Hamill's prices, and you lose a lot of respect. Oh yeah, it's super expensive. I know that Brad Jones was telling me that Travolta was like $500. That's crazy to me. You know. I should just see if I can. I'll put that price out there and see if anybody pays it. Um, Muscle mandate Tesla trucks are the only vehicles. He's a fucking weirdo. I don't get that dude. 650. Fuck. I think their handles make up those prices. Yeah, I could see that. Well, because they get paid to be at the convention first. Like they get a fee to be there, and then a lot of times though, the handlers or the convention will make the price up. Hello, all. Yo, what's going on, Kevin? But yeah, I don't know. I was never a big there was like a small period of time. Yeah, it's all right. You didn't miss anything. There's a small period of time where we were going to horror conventions and I was collecting autographs. And I have some stuff here, like John Carpenter, Bill Moseley, Caroline Munro. I think on that side over here, I have like Tony Todd, Tom Savini, people like that. Elvira Goblin. I have a couple cool ones, but just go to the gym next to the con late, and yeah, basically, yeah, go wait for John Travolta to come up. Only a few autos I have are Conrad Brooks from Play Night. Oh, that's cool. That would be fucking cool to have Conrad Brooks's autograph. I used to talk to him on the phone in 2009. You have Elvira the cat's autograph. I do. Yeah. Actually, yeah. Because she walks around and gets kitty litter marks all over the hardwood floor. So I guess I do. But no, I have Cassandra Peterson's autograph. She was at a Monster Mania or something convention, so I got her autograph. That was pretty cool. I have a whole bunch of weird ones. I sent you the email with the link for the spreadsheet. Okay, I'll check that out. Dave, if you're still in here, I'm going to write the backs of your cards. I just have to finish the movie first. Dave, who was in here, is doing these really cool. He's a Japanese artist. He lives in Japan, and he's doing these like Garbage Pail Kids type cards with these cool little action figures. And he asked me to write the descriptions of each character on the back and come up with puns and stuff like that. And I've been meaning to for a while. It's just the movie has taken up all of my time recently, and then moving and all that. But I want to do it because I have a bunch of sick jokes, and I think that would be really cool. And it'd be cool to have something else of mine that's in Japan, after Shark Exorcist 2. But yeah, I don't know. It's cool to get offered cool shit like that. And Dave's done so much artwork for me that I was like, I owe him this. I just gotta get it. I gotta get it done. And it's not enough hours in the day, man. Like, and I'm not out here doing personal errands. I'm actually working. All right, let's see. Did Tony Todd film his scenes in the new Final Destination film? I don't know. That bummed me out last week when he passed away. Dave's art is indeed good. Oh, it's awesome. A news outlet stated Tony Todd finished the scene in the new Final Destination in Vancouver before he passed. Okay, that's good. Do I have Jeffrey Jones's autograph? No, I don't. I wouldn't want Jeffrey Jones's autograph. I have from Ed Wood. I have who do I have? I have Lisa Marie, who played Vampire. I have her autograph. That's the only one. Yeah, thank you. I trust me. As soon as I clear this fucking thing, I'll have 2 more shoots, and then I can get in there and do this for you. But yeah, Dave did the amazing Planet Frankenstein poster where it's the 2 girls standing on top of the pile of bodies and the head and the lightning bolt. He did the Amityville Arcade poster. He did the Rug Monster poster for Midnight Show. He's done a lot of really fucking cool work, and I want to do this. I do. Yeah, and she was his muse, man. That was one of those big things. Like, we have certain people that inspire art in us, and I had that, and I have it in some people, but you could tell that like a lot of stuff was based on her for Tim Burton, and it's changed a lot. But now you went from like her to Helena Bonham Carter to Ava Green to now Monica Bellucci. I was like, fuck, that little nerd is like slaying ass, man. Do you like history? Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of stuff about history. Tim Burton gets all the lovely ladies. Must be the hair. Yeah, I'd love to be a weird little fucking goth filmmaker, and I did. For a while, I was, I had some hot women who were constantly around, and for some odd reason liked me. So I don't know what that was about, but I'm trying to figure out how to get back to that. Now that I'm actually making movies, I was like, how do I find that again? But I guess you find it when you least expect it, Every woman in my life who was like that, I met them at weird, inopportune times, and then they kind of stuck around. So I'm maybe it'll happen again, Whatever. What do you know? Who knows? But yeah, I don't know. I'm glad people hung out with me tonight for a little bit. Which Tim Burton movie do you hate the most? Do you have the babies they out hat? I didn't know what that meant. Did you have a stroke while typing that? Tim Burton movie I hate the most. I would probably say Probably Alice in Wonderland. That was such an ugly movie. It did nothing for me. I just, didn't like it. His Planet of the Apes was pretty terrible too. Um, Finding out Monica Bellucci was in Irreversible took me back. Yeah, another hard movie. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was pretty dismal. It had some things I like. The babies they out hat. Come on, everyone knows that. I don't know what that means. I'm an old man. Is that like a skibby toilet or whatever? Oh, Baby's Day Out. Okay, I was like, what? Am I missing something? I don't know anymore. I don't know what's going on anymore. I have no idea. Yeah, exactly. It's you kids and your lingo. Um, yeah, so whatever. No, I'm glad people come and hang out with us for a little bit and delve into my psyche. If you're looking for love, you're working backwards. You must love yourself. No, I get that. I'm not looking for anything right now. I'm just, it's nice to have people around. It's nice to uh, I'm a boomer for the new sayings. I remember couldn't find a V8 was a thing. Rando question: what's the oldest movie poster you have? Um, hmm. Let's see. What do I have that's the oldest? I have some stuff from the '60s. Um, what's the oldest I have? Probably one of the double feature posters would be the oldest. I have something from '68 or '69. Actually, is a Mexican lobby card for Ship of Monsters, one of my favorite Mexican science fiction movies. This is 1963, so this might be the oldest one that I have. So I have to reframe that one. So that's probably the oldest one that I have. The Cash Me Outside Girl Made a Language. The Batman script went from 10 to now 40 pages. All right, cool. Do the Baby's Day Out dance. I haven't seen that movie in forever. How do you get a hold of these cool posters? A lot of different ways. I used to buy like blind lots of posters, but then I also eBay, yard sales. I inherited a lot of stuff too, but yeah, there was I started my collection with rolled posters working at the movie theater. I think the first poster I ever got was Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows in 2000 or 99, no, 2000. And then I just started collecting from there. And I had I'd say from 2000 to 2019, every major release I had a copy of. I had an entire storage unit full of movie posters. And when I lost my job at Screenwave, I wanted to do the comic book because I was like, I got to do something to show people that I can make something. So I sold my entire movie poster collection except for the folded stuff, and I used that to fund the some of the book to get it going, and then some of I put into movie stuff, and then put into get into therapy and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so that was what happened to my movie poster collection. But I literally had everything, like all the Star Wars prequels, all the Marvel movies. Hey, what's going on, man? How do you feel their future celebrities will be the Hawk 2 girl and the Cash Me Outside girl? That's it's a brave new world out there, man. It's not, we don't have it's such a clickbait society that we live in that we don't really need those people anymore. Society's moved past like substance and into the quick thing, the meme thing. So I don't know what the future is going to be. Hopefully I'll be dead by then. That's right. That dude was on Burn Notice. A comic book that I worked on was in the background of Burn Notice one time. The Velvet Rope was in the background of a Burn Notice episode where they went to Comic-Con. Talent doesn't matter. No, it doesn't. A lot of horror posters in my office. 50's The Blob, Plan 9. Attention only matters. Exactly. And that's the hard thing about not being good at YouTube and not having a big following and stuff like that is you kind of get lost in the shuffle. There's a lot of people I think 30 people over the last few weeks have been like, oh, I didn't even know you were still doing videos. We don't see them anymore. And I was like, yeah, they don't really show up in people's feeds very much anymore. So that's hurt us because we were going from 12,000 views to now 200 views. And I get a lot of people who started out were people who were watching to make fun of me and stuff like that. So like only the certain people stuck around. I still want to see Blair Witch 2 how it was supposed to be. Yeah, I remember. I was literally just talking about that. That there was a completely different version of that because it was made by the guys who did Paradise Lost, that HBO documentary. But what we got was a completely different version when Lionsgate got their hands on it. I think it was Artisan originally put out the first one. I don't know. I just remember it started with Marilyn Manson's Disposable Teens. Yeah, I don't know. I saw that movie. I watched it by myself the night before it came out when we had it at the theater. Never say skibbity toilet. You're too Sigma for that beta. I don't even know what it means. Honestly, the kids who used to work with me at the last theater were like telling me new slang terms, and I was like, "What the fuck does that even mean?" Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm old. It sucks. But you know, that's what happens. Don't get old, kids. My dad used to say, "Don't get married, don't have kids," to me a lot, which you know probably is the reason I am who I am. But yeah, getting old sucks. I'm gonna dip again. Make care. All right, see you, man. And I'll get to your script soon. I promise. Send it to me on Discord. I'll get to it. The holiday is gonna be tough for me because I'm shorthanded at the theater and there's a big movie coming out. We're in a small town, so we're like the only show in town. So I'm just preparing for that. It's the new Five Nights at Freddy's. Okay. Yeah, he was work. He shot like a movie about with like groupies and stuff like that. They were like, this will get us a. And I remember Metz telling me about it, but I remember what it was called. Done and Done. See the lobby card for so long. I'm glad I asked right now. Yeah, so I have three of them. The other two are framed over here, but one of the frames fell off the wall and broke, and it ripped the lobby card, which sucks. So I got to get it linen backed again and reframed. And I was so happy to find those. Met's doing good. Haven't seen them in a while. Yeah, Metz is busy, man. Metz has been in Pittsburgh for the last few weeks, but they're gonna be back in December. We're gonna shoot again. They promised me that, so I was like, come on, we gotta get back to a regular schedule. So we'll get back to that. Just right now, everybody's busy, you know. I also found I didn't realize I had this. The Triple Xmas poster that was like signed by everybody that they gave to people who were who did the crowdfund, and I was able to get my hands on one without the crowdfund, and I signed it. I didn't realize I had my own signature. I found this other Swamp Zombies poster the other day too. Is the big film coming to town Sean Baker's Anora? No, I didn't get that one. I saw it though. I saw a screener of it, and I really liked it. But no, this isn't the town for that. I got to play it as safe as humanly possible here. You know, somebody asked earlier to go to the local synagogue. I was like, I don't think there is one in this town. If you're picking up what I'm putting down. All right, guys. We've been doing this for 3.5 hours. I'm gonna go. Is the Christmas movie Nosferatu that's going to mess up the town? No, I'm not doing Nosferatu, but there's another theater that's not far from here that's doing it. The big film is Fireproof. I had that at my theater. Real quick, I'll talk about that one. So Kirk Cameron couldn't kiss another woman, but the girl in the movie is supposed to be his girlfriend. So his wife had to stand in for the other actress. She was much shorter, and she's wearing a terrible wig. So I remember being in the projection booth and like looking at the movie and being like, what the fuck? And asking, there was a religious girl, Megan, who worked behind the concession stand. She's like, no, Kirk Cameron, he can't kiss another woman. So I was like, so they had her stand on like a box and wear a wig? And she's like, yeah. I was like, and that's not weird to you? Like, we had God's Not Dead. 2. We had, what was the other one? Kirk Cameron's Craving Christmas. But yeah, we had those. All right, guys, I'm going to go. I was busy releasing the Kraken, if you know what I'm saying. Oh, I get you. All right, guys. Maybe I'll try to get another one of these in next week or something like that. Try to do it more regularly. But yeah, watch the next 5 weeks on Wednesdays videos I shot with Amber, and I'm really excited about you guys seeing them. And we're gonna do if we get a lot of comments. She said that she'll come back and we'll do a video answering people's comments. So please make sure to comment. And not all just, I bet you those two are fucking. Yeah, all right, guys. Good night. Have a good Thanksgiving to those of you who celebrate it. I'll hopefully be able to DoorDash whatever restaurant around here is open, or I'll be eating peanut butter and jelly on Thanksgiving. Good night, guys.